What is up, YouTube and Twitch gang? Today, we're back. Danganrompa. It's crazy. This might be a little bit of a longer stream. Or a lot of a longer stream. But I have my Coca-Cola. Non-spons.
Reality splits. Saving everyone. Hope. Second
Despair?
trial.
Second trial.
Yeah, I was reading your old titles.
I don't know where to go. It says I'm in the investigation phase, right? I'm gonna go to the paint room. We'll start with the mallets, because that's the one part of evidence I remember. Talk to these people too. That's not people. I am looking at a torso.
Huh?
How could two dead bodies have disappeared? Or where could two dead bodies could have disappeared to? When you search the body that have disappeared, what happens after that? Okay. Rattle, rattle. Huh? The door must be locked. I'm just fine with that being that. Okay. Where do we think the two dead bodies are? We're presuming it's Hifumi and Taka. I doubt it's the rec room. Sweetly don't look like it. Am I even sure it's on this floor?
Maybe it will take you 2 hours to do the investigation. Ayo.
Well, I just got left with no information.
You know exactly what you have to do next.
I need to find the two dead bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, she's dead too. She wasn't. It was Toko. But, like, who's that?
Yeah, I'm watching stream.
Oh. Makoto, why are you just standing there? We need to get to the repository. Huh, you mean...
Indeed.
I found them. Oh, so it was a twist that I couldn't have expected. Had to go through everywhere. Hifumi and Taka's bodies have both been hidden in the repository.
Goodbye.
I've already told Hina, Sakura, we'll go on ahead. Their bodies are in the repository. Which place is that?
It's a place that you know well. The last place you would have ever expected.
I don't know if, like, it's have a weird taste in my mouth this thing is mixing with, but this Coca-Cola tastes alcoholic.
Takes another sip.
I think I need to hurry to the repository. It's not just repository. It's a trick, isn't it?
No, I was confused for a while as well, because that's just not a name of a place ever, so...
Well, 4 people are in the art room. So...
I should have done that. That could have saved a lot.
I'm a deducer, did you forget? Are the bodies here somewhere? Maybe it's in the locked door. Rattle, rattle. Up ahead is the repository. The doorknob turned. I guess it's unlocked. Then I have no choice but to go inside. But it was locked at the beginning, which means someone would have had to unlock it, which would mean Hifumi's not dead or wasn't dead. He locked it and then unlocked it.
Or Taka. Or Ghost.
2 bodies had disappeared right there. Or that disappeared were right there. The smell of blood made me gag.
2 bodies.
Okay. Then what I saw before my eyes was unquestionably, unavoidable, unwavering reality. And then I heard the announcement for the second time. A dead body has been found. Wouldn't that have already happened though, seeing as there's 3 people here?
A body has been discovered.
Well, Bianchi arrived at the same time
After
you
a
did.
certain amount of time, which you may do
Gotcha.
however you like, the class trial will begin.
Okay. So that guarantees that Hifumi wasn't dead until just now. in this room. And also, didn't it say Celeste found the bodies first? And then she left? He's like, okay, I'm gonna go get everyone. Okay. I'm still confused in the everything, but Celeste is definitely behind it. I can believe Hifumi killed Taka, and that Celeste killed Hifumi. So I'm guessing your Rise is on Xbox Live. It's with Game Pass, so technically it's linked to Xbox. But I play on PC, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. It comes out on the 20th, though, King of Frogs. So the 20th. That's when we can test stuff. And so here we are. Without further ado, let me give you the next Monocum file. Windows 10 counts as Xbox, so yeah. Maybe though. Maybe we'll be able to find a workaround, King of Frogs. I was going to hand them out when you found the bodies the first time, but I thought something might happen.
What?
It's really hard to resist, but turns out I was right.
Stop talking.
This ain't over already.
Punishment is waiting.
Now make sure to investigate with all your all your mental might to prepare for the class trial.
See ya later.
Same. Anyway, well then, now that we've found the bodies, all that's left is to uncover the culprit.
What the heck?
Hold on. How can you be so calm? I mean, they're dead, you know.
That's terrible.
Dead, gone forever. They're never coming back. Awful. This is just all too awful. Hina suddenly burst into tears. She clutched at Hifumi's lifeless body.
Who would do this?
Why did you care about him?
Why?
I was learning the same thing.
Why?
This guy dying would be the one person I'd be like, okay, whatever. You know, legitimately.
Dang.
But tears fell from her eyes and tears. Well, I mean, just in theory, he just seems
Not even
like
Taka or the Crystal Ball guy.
them dying, I'd be okay with.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be a little concerned. Even then, if I run you through the entire base game just for it to leave Pass, it would hurt much. Well, to be fair, it shouldn't leave Game Pass for a while, especially since I'm sure it'll be pretty popular. The tears landed on Hifumi's cheeks. If this were some world of make-believe, that might have been when Hifumi opened his eyes. But this wasn't a movie. Because this time, he was really dead. Also, you don't get Sunbreak? Isn't Sunbreak a free DLC, though? No? Well, Game Pass might give it. He's not dead?
I got an ad just as it happened.
This wasn't.
He's alive again?
Where am I? Cold. So cold. Is winter coming?
Okay.
Hifumi!
Don't think of base games? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Monster Hunter had Iceborne because I was able to do some of the Iceborne stuff before it left Game Pass. But.
Huh? Ah, that's right. I remember now. Hope's Peak. Come on, you gotta wake up!
Like what? The like really good Iceborne weapons, the ones you can like basically cheat the game through. You know? To like help you get there faster.
I remember everything before I met you.
Defender gear? I have no idea.
I met you all.
His memories are all blended together. He has nothing useful to offer us. That's not Iceborne, isn't it? Specifically Iceborne though?
The light. It's reaching out to me like the tail of a comet.
That's to to rush people through base game to buy Iceborne faster. Yes, but at the same time, there's no point to be able to rush to the base game to buy Iceborne faster unless you were getting or you already had Iceborne. So why would you try to beat the game faster? Just I don't know, it takes away. I don't know.
Hey, Hifumi! Who was it? Who attacked you?
They added it during the Iceborne edition, but was made part of the base. Interesting.
Who tried to kill you? Who killed me? That's right. I remember their name. Yasu. Hiro.
Did you have Clutch Claw? I have no idea. I literally, when it was leaving Game Pass, I decided to check it out because I'm like, I want to check it out. And I just got a brief thing. That was like months ago. So I don't really remember any of that stuff. I just remember the easy gear being there. His eyes closed and they never opened again. Technically, when you die, your eyes open though, so death for the second time. Absolute undeniable death. No matter how many more of Hina's tears splashed his face, there was no second miracle. Reality set in again. This isn't some stereotypical fantasy world. Tears can't restore a person's vitality.
Honestly.
You have no tears, do you? No blood in your veins? No calcium in your bones? At least you have your meat.
Stop talking.
You're just angry. Going out of his way to return just to leave us with those unnecessary dying words. Now this game has become exceedingly boring. He said Yasuhiro, right?
Then perhaps...
Yasuhiro Hagakure. That's the only person he could have been referring to.
So in other words...
Wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. What if Celeste's real name is that?
Whoa.
That's all I'm saying.
It's possible. I feel like it would lead to a lot of confusion if he just like said that.
I don't think so. Assaulting people and even killing Taka and Hifumi. And then going so far as to hide their bodies. A criminal that hides his face behind a mask and uses a bunch of giant wooden hammers. Is that what hero is?
What is this?
Doesn't sound like any hero I know. If that's true, I can't forgive him. No way can I ever forgive him. Killed 2 of our friends. Anyway, it's about time we track down the culprit in our little life or death game here. Although this time it's not all that life or death. The trial has, or will conclude without much trouble.
Indeed.
Yes, it does look that way. It's going to begin again. We have to go through this one more time. At least it should only take like 20 minutes, right? Maybe even less. We already know who it is, right guys? Right? Cut and dry. I guess Celeste just helped him get away with it somehow. I have to accept that I have no choice but to go through with this to make sure everyone survives. I just have to do it. Investigate. First, I'd better check the Monokuma file. The victims were Hifumi Yamada and Kiyotaka Ishimaru. The cause of death for each was a blow to the head. It is thought that they were both killed with a similar weapon. That's it.
Very strange.
Yeah, it's pretty strange. We got way less information this time than before. That's no problem. After all, the events of the case unfolded before our very eyes. We should know more about what happened in the Monokuma file code anyway. Maybe.
Well,
There's something else that's bothering me. Someone else has been missing for quite a while. Are you talking about Kyoko?
perhaps.
Without a doubt, she has an alibi for when Celeste and Hifumi were attacked. But what if the killer wasn't acting alone? What if they had an accomplice? An accomplice? An accomplice? What are you doing here?
Monokuma!
Don't be rude. I'm here to answer your question. What question?
Yep.
You're talking about accomplices, right? I'm pretty sure I explained it before, didn't I, during the first class trial?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, 2 people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
In other words,
So basically, you can be an accomplice if you want, but there's no gratification to it. Or in it.
So then.
So are you saying nobody worked together in this either?
hey,
So I can't answer it. It would obstruct the free exchange of information between you guys. I just want to make sure you don't forget no matter how much you might assist in a murder. Only one blackened can graduate, an accomplice gets nothing.
So in other words,
Then we only need to figure out who the one blackened is that did the killing, right? Just like normal?
well,
Okay, let me take this opportunity to clarify the whole shebang. In this class trial, what you need to determine is
extreme!
the one true blackened who devised the murder plot and put it into action. The true blackened, so just one person?
Well now,
That's enough for explainifying. Now it's down to the final battle between all of you and the blackened. Good luck to all the contestants. The way they phrase that, you know, it certainly seems like Celeste is the one, you know? The puppeteer. Because even if the other guy were to kill someone, it said the one true blackened who planned everything. And, yeah. You know? And, yeah. I think it's her. There can only be one blackened and accomplice wouldn't benefit. then I can see any way Kyoko would be connected to this case after all. You may be right. That's true, then Kyoko, where are you?
However,
As long as she's not connected to the case, it doesn't matter. Let's get back to the investigation.
Indeed.
I have absolutely no doubt that Hiro is responsible. But for the time being, I suppose it can't hurt to pursue further information.
So,
Don't you think we should consider a certain someone as a suspect just in case? I'm talking about this murderous fiend, Genocide Jack.
What?
Is this whole game murder mysteries? Yes. Have you not been paying attention, King of Frogs? These people went to a school because they all have special abilities, right? And it's a school that brings hope to everyone, right? Because like all these great young high schoolers that have superpowers, basically, like a high school level swimmer and baseball star and pop star, and the one guy who got lucky.
And murderous fiend, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And then it turns out that they got trapped, and now it's all about turning it into despair by them fighting each other and showing them having despair to give the entire world despair. Because even with the people with the most hope, they bring despair because murder and stuff. And so it's all about them trying to escape, but the only way to escape is by killing someone and getting away with it. And then they also give motives and reason for people to try and kill people to get out besides them just staying there. But there's more stuff to it as well. Like a lot more. But for time being at least, basically it's just a murder game. Kya. When did you? I've been looking all over for you, Master. When I woke up, you were nowhere to be found. Anyway, you there, milk sack swimmer girl.
Huh?
Milk sack?
You gotta be kidding.
Why do I gotta be a suspect?
What the heck?
Well, I mean, you are a serial killer.
What?
So what? I'm like a special guest suspect every time. I have an alibi, you know? She's right about that. When you retrieved from me scream, she was with me, and then the bodies disappeared. She was still lying unconscious in the equipment room. Plus Taka's body aside, I can't imagine any way she would have been able to move Hafumi's body.
Yep.
Besides, I calculate every move I make. I'm not gonna kill someone when everyone knows what I look like. They don't call me the murderous fiend for nothing.
What are you saying?
That's not the kind of thing you should be bragging about.
Let's see.
On another topic, should we post a guard by the bodies like before? We can't have them disappear again.
so then.
Hina and I can handle that. You don't mind, do you, Hina? Sure, I'd be totally useless on the investigation anyway.
It's all clear now.
Then that's that. Let's begin. Okay, time to get cracking. This whole thing is so strange. But one of us has an alibi, so figuring out who did it should be obvious, right? But maybe it's me, but I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as it seems. Okay. Investigate the mallets. Their hammers are precise hanging on the wall, though some more like mallets. Mallets? Could the just hammers have been designed using these as a model? Either way, all the hammers here have obviously seen a lot of use. They're all covered in debris and chalky stone powder. Wait. For some reason, this one hammer isn't dirty at all, and it's wet. Did someone wash it recently? Spotless hammer's been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Plus, there's 4 missing. The dolly. Dolly doesn't have a handle. I saw this in the art room before. I guess it used to move statues around. Kinda awkward, but if you bend down, it's not too hard to use. But wait. Wasn't this in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? And look at the wheel. There's a blood stain on it. So there's blood on the wheel of the dolly that was moved from the equipment room to the repository. What's the explanation for that? Been added. Huh? I don't think anything else is really of use here. Only one way in and out of this room. There's definitely a lock on the door, but can only be locked from the inside of the repository. I don't see any way to lock it from the art room. Okay. So can I not leave the room because there's a lock on it? That's what these people would say. Yaki, do you think Hiro really did it? I don't see how anyone could think otherwise. When the attacks and murders and disappearances all happened, every one of us had an alibi. And the last thing Hifumi said when he was dying, he said Hiro's name.
So in other words,
And there's no room to suspect anyone else. Okay, but what if he did do it? Why would he hide his identity with that weird costume? Maybe he thought that no matter what happened, he'd be safe as long as his face was covered? Because he's a fool of the century, you see. I mean, he is kind of dumb. But do you really think that's enough to explain it? I feel like there's a clue hiding in there somewhere.
What?
And is that it? That's all that bothers you about this case? Well, no, there are a few other things. Like, why did the killer try to hide the bodies? They probably figured if we couldn't find the bodies, we couldn't complete our investigation. Then they couldn't graduate. So they killed someone for no reason? If that's the case, we found the bodies pretty easily, didn't we? Again, it comes back to the fact the culprit was a moron. Is that really all there is to it? The other thing that bothers me is, why'd they bother killing 2 people?
What?
Still, the rule says if you can kill someone and get away with it, you graduate, right? So if you're the killer, your number 1 priority is not getting caught. But if killing 2 people means more clues, more chances you'll get found out.
I see.
Hold on, perhaps. You see, that's what that means. Is everything okay?
That's enough.
Don't talk to me as if we were friends. Huh? What's with the attitude? You have my appreciation.
Goodbye.
Thanks to you, I might have some fun with this after all. His mysterious words hung in the air as he left the repository. He asked as if he'd figured something out. But if he did, would it have killed him to tell me what it was? It might have.
Whoa, funny murder game.
There are many aspects of the accident this time, too many to be honest, considering that it may be good to look back when everything's happened.
So then.
I'm not gonna lie, I think this is probably the most well-constructed murder of like the entire game. Would you like my help? Yes. Yeah, let's look back on things. This morning, only 4 of us met in the dining hall. Hina, Kyoka, you, and myself. We waited for the others, but nobody showed up, so we decided to go look for them. It was around 8 o'clock when we began the search. And soon after, we split up, Kyoka disappeared. After that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room on the 3rd floor, then quickly came and got you and me. According to Celeste, she was attacked by suspicion and laid unconscious for about an hour. In other words, she was attacked an hour before we found her. Meaning, just after 7 o'clock, based on the picture Celeste took, we discovered her attack-resistant costume. It was Robo Justice. It's also became clear that this Robo Justice had dragged Hifumi away. After meeting up with Toko and Byakuya, we began searching for the costume assailant. We found an injured Hifumi in the library on the 2nd floor. We took him down to the nurse's office on the 1st floor. He resumed our search. Not long after leaving the nurse's office. What's wrong? I saw a shadow of something moving at the top of the stairs. Based on Celeste's claims, we went up to the 2nd floor where we split up and began searching. And right after that, Celeste screamed. This time she had apparently seen the suspect on the 3rd floor. Hearing her screams, we quickly made our way up to the 3rd floor. Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down to the hallway and disappeared. And then... yeah. Huh? What was that? Came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we need to go back. At that point, we decided to split up into 2 groups. Celestina and I went back to the nurse's office. Meanwhile, Yubiyaki and Toko pursued the suspect on the 3rd floor. And we got back to the nurse's office. We found Hifumi's corpse, which is also when we heard the body discovered in House Fly. I left Celeste and Hina alone and headed back to the 3rd floor to tell the others what has happened.
However.
But at the same time, we had discovered Taka's body in the equipment room, which means Hifumi and Taka's body were discovered right around the same time. Because I remember hearing the body discovered in House Play right after finding Taka. And that's when I showed up to tell you and Byakuya and Hifumi had been killed, right? And Yumi and Byakuya all headed back to the nurse's office, leaving behind Toko, who had fainted. But as soon as we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who had just arrived to tell us something very unusual. Hifumi's body had disappeared. We hurried back to the nurse's office to discover that his corpse was in fact gone. Then remembered we had abandoned the unconscious Toko and rushed back to the equipment room. This can't be happening. Are you hallucinating all this or something? Or are we hallucinating? This time Taka's body disappeared. So from there we began the search for both the missing bodies. And then after some time, Celeste told us that she found the bodies and we all head to the repository. And then we discovered the 2 bodies that had apparently vanished. That brings us up to now.
However.
Looking back, things have certainly been very active. If you want to look back in the case again, just let me know. I'm fine. It's fine anytime. The thing is that with that explanation, it really does just feel like it's Celeste. It seems like Celeste is just masterminding everything, right?
Yeah. Seems like this is the only investigation that she's like really leading, you know?
Yeah, it seems like she's taking
She's
a very...
leading it hard.
Yeah, exactly. As well as, like, the thing is that the other guy, the hero or whatever, seems to not just exist.
Yeah.
At least so far. Things that I feel like would be
I
too...
don't really make him more suspicious.
I feel like it'd be so easy for it to be Celeste, though. Like, I feel like with all the evidence, it seems so obvious, you know, that she like mastermind things. To be fair, I don't know how like some of the situation played out, you know, like I'm still trying to piece together exactly what happened. Like, since that comic part's gonna be awful, but
I think I've got it down by now, but I don't think you've got much longer to go.
yeah, but the thing is that I definitely think it's her. Makoto, I've been thinking about something. It's about the repository. Huh? What is it? After Hifumi and Taka's body disappeared, we split up to look around, right? I was really scared, so me and Sakura stuck together. And we came right to the repository to, you know, look around. But when we got there, the repository was locked. We couldn't get inside. It was locked? And we came here as soon as the... Why am I surprised? I literally checked and it was locked. Anyway,
yeah, same here.
as soon as the search started, so there's no way someone could have beat us here. So if that's true, then who locked it and why is it unlocked now? I wonder the same thing. Because Hifumi didn't die until just in that room. Obviously. The door was locked when the search for the bodies began and now it's wide open. There might be some secret lurking in here, or in there. But I'll probably have to leave this area to figure it out. Yeah. The door can only be locked from inside the repository, which makes me wonder. Hina and Sakura both confirmed the door was locked when the search for the bodies began. And there was a sign that it can only be locked from inside the repository. In other words, when Hina checked in, someone had already gone inside the repository and locked the door. When they were done, they unlocked it and left, which is why it's unlocked now. So that certain someone, Hina claims that there's no way someone could have beaten them to the repository. Was it the killer, who's still roaming free, or was it one of the victims? Okay. How can I leave? Oh my god, what more is there to understand? I know everything! I guess I can search the dead bodies, actually. Hifumi's dead.
Yeah, that's pretty important.
His really big body. I mean, how on earth was the killer able to move someone so big? From the nurse's office, we were discovered to here to the repository. All the way to the first floor to the third, and all without anyone noticing. You know, I was just thinking, like, yeah, how did they do it? But like, wait. No, he moved himself, and then someone just killed him. Because I was thinking he might have died at some point, then they just moved him here, but yeah. I guess he had to have been in here, so no one moved him. All the way from the first floor to the third, and all without anyone noticing. Impossible. How the heck? It's no good, I just don't get it. I can think about it later. For now, I have to finish investigating Hifumi himself. If I can remember correctly, Hifumi's fatal injury was also a blow to the head. Probably just the Hammer 3, which was laying on the floor in the nurse's office. Oh wait, something's off about this body. Why am I getting this feeling? Something's different. Something about Hifumi's body in the nurse's office versus his body right now. That's it, his glasses. When his body was in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered in blood. But now they're completely clean. Does that mean someone wiped his glasses off? But who would do that and why? Okay, that I didn't... that I didn't piece together, but you know, I guess that... Who would have cleaned his glasses if it wasn't him? Who would do that and why? Okay. Taka. He'll never move again. According to the Monokuma file, Taka died from a blow to the head. Spent just the same for 4 years body in the equipment room. Is that what was used to kill him? There's also a tarp laid out under his body. Did the killer use this to move Taka's body? That way, there wouldn't be any blood left behind while the body was moved. Blue tarp. There's got to be a clue around here somewhere. Maybe I should check somewhere else. There are some places I already know about. First, the nurse's office where Hifumi was found, and the equipment room where Taka was found. Okay. Well, which one's closer? Well, nurse's office is on the first floor, so I assume the equipment room. That's the one in the, like, physics lab, right?
So.
We also need to find Kyoka and Hiro. Okay, well first we already checked out the hammer, but we might have to check it out again. So I'm just gonna check it out now. Does hammer 4, the weapon that was used to kill Taka. The body was moved, but the murder weapon was just left there. Okay. There's some kind of mark going through the pool of blood in the middle of the room. That reminds me about the dolly in the repository. There was blood on its tire. Could that body have come from here? Which could mean that Taka's body was moved from the equipment room to the repository using the dolly. Both rooms are on the 3rd floor, so that should definitely be possible. Definitely should have been possible. Equipment room bloodstain. But even if the dolly was used to move Taka's body, what about Hifumi? Hifumi's body was in the nurse office on the 1st floor. Even with the dolly, there's no way to get it up to the 3rd floor. That's still total mystery. I think me and him have...
Pick it up on it.
Yeah. I was sleeping right here when the serial killer carried the body away. I'm super mad. I missed such an ultimately rare event. Can I leave? Yeah, okay, I guess I got all the information there. I still don't know.
I think I might save you some time and say to inspect that blue tarp in that room.
I don't think there was a blue tarp in that room.
There was. It had to be stuck for a while.
Where?
The light blue things in the bottom, top right.
On this tarp. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before and just recently too. Did nothing. Literally did nothing, dude. Thanks.
Yep, well, that's the thing I did last, and that started the other thing. So.
I think you're just bad, Jared.
Wrong.
It just said, I think I've seen that tarp before. It didn't add anything to evidence. It didn't say anything. It was literally one line.
Okay. It's the last thing I did. What else would have triggered it?
Nothing.
That makes sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Should have told you about it so that you get stuck.
Nothing would have happened here because it meant nothing. So, thanks. Thanks, Jared, really, with that useful information. Thanks. Jared really knows how to investigate a crime scene. What can I say?
Tarp was important. Vital to the scene of the crime.
Gotcha. Just Hammer 3, that was one used to kill the guy. Someone moved the body but left the weapon behind. Okay. Celeste. What are you investigating, Celeste? I'm not investigating anything, precisely speaking. I'm simply going around seeing if Hiro might be hiding somewhere. What about you? Oh, you know, I'm just checking this and that. The main thing on my mind is how someone could have moved Hifumi's body. How Hifumi's moved, eh? Or eh? When it disappeared, you were supposed to be in the nurse's office, right?
Yes, indeed.
Correctine was not feeling well, so I stayed behind to look after her. But she seemed to be getting worse, so I took her to the bathroom. And then we got back, the body was gone. We could not have gone for more than a minute or two, though. Yeah, Hina said the same thing. So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time. It would seem so. Carry off someone as big as Hifumi in only a couple minutes is... I can't think of it as anything less than impossible. What's the count? Yeah, I don't know, it just, you know? Celeste kinda just... Check the trash can. Out of all the things, trash can might have something in here. Oh wait, there's something inside. Too small to be a handkerchief. It's a glasses cleaning cloth. It's got some cartoon character on it. But it's also covered in blood. Okay, well, I'm guessing he cleaned his glasses with this. And then threw it away. Okay.
They don't seem to be trying to hide it.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you find something? Yeah, there was a cleaning cloth in the trash can.
Huh?
Cleaning cloth? Yeah, it's all bloody. Whoever this belonged to must have used it to wipe up some blood. But who would need to do something like that? I haven't the slightest idea. Yeah, me neither, but I think it might be important. So basically it seems like what I'm imagining is okay. First of all, to even say that the person who's black had actually killed anyone, I guess to become black and you have to kill someone, right?
Yeah, it said that they carried it out.
They what? Carried it out?
That they created the murder plan and carried it out.
Okay. So I guess that makes sense. Like I said, the only thing that seems confusing is why kill Hifumi, unless, like I said, it was supposed to be like, oh, Hifumi, I'll help you kill Taka. You know? for no reason, and he just kind of like believed it, and then she basically.
The case of someone absolutely throwing. Like he's like, yeah, sure, I want to help for no reason.
Like Hifumi?
Mm.
Well, see, the thing is that if she killed Taka and Hifumi just decided to help, which seems weird, then it's like, okay, why kill Hifumi? Just in case he decides to betray her?
I guess.
But the thing is, I find it more realistic that Hifumi killed Taka and she either found out or she's the one who told him to kill Taka, and then she was just helping him, like, okay, I got the perfect plans, right? To like do that, you know? Because like I said, she leading everyone to certain spots literally lets Hifumi do what he needs to do, right?
Yeah.
As well as if they discuss the plan beforehand, and she was the only person giving people directions and orders and like splitting up the groups and everything, right? So basically let Hifumi go wherever he wanted. And we obviously know that Hifumi didn't die until the very end, because that's when it played the death sound. You know? And the door was locked, so we can assume that maybe Celeste went in there and killed him and then left. My only thing is, like I said, is that why she would kill Hifumi? Unless, like I said, it was like, oh, let's let Hifumi win. But that also seems like a really weird thing, that Hifumi would have to be pretty dumb to just be like it's like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll help you win, you know? I'll just help you win. I'm fine with completely dying, you know? And everyone else dying. I want to help you win, Hifumi. And he's like, yes, this is what I want. Yeah. I can really trust her completely, you know? So, am I done here? Yeah. So this is where you were. I've been looking for you. Is this the thing that triggered when you looked at the tarp?
Maybe.
You have? I wanted to thank you for what you did. Not that you meant to, but you ended up making this little game of ours very interesting indeed. You should go to Hero's room. Oh, let me give you this. Me in the dining hall. This is a note Hero wrote to get us all to meet up, right? You remember well. Well, the penmanship was pretty remarkable, so it left an impression.
All clear.
Anyway, this makes it clear, right? This is a trap. What is? Things grow from more exciting. And what are you talking about? I've already repaid my debt. I don't owe you any more explanation. Goodbye. Okay. Yes, the hero's message has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. So you said to go to Hero's room, but what's waiting for me there? I'm guessing it's Hero, chilling in his room, asleep in a costume. And if that's the case, he seems pretty framed, because he was like, oh man, after all that murder and really need to go to my room and take a nap in my costume. You know?
I see nothing wrong with it.
Me neither. He's just that dumb.
I mean, if that's the case, you know. I don't know.
Oh, I just can't imagine it being anything else besides literally the most obvious bullcrap. The door's unlocked. Oh, he didn't even care to lock the door. He was just that tired. He just didn't think. Well, it's a good thing I flawlessly got away with that crime. Time to make myself super easy to figure out. Let's see. His room's kind of cool. This Hero's room. There's all kinds of weird stuff in here. Where'd he get it all from? More importantly, he still hasn't turned up, which means he can't really complain if I don't get his permission to search his room, right? Okay. Then it just goes. Oh wait, the cardboard boxes. That's kind of suspicious. I think there's something in the cardboard boxes. It's blueprints for something, and something made out of like cardboard and plastic and plaster. Is this Robo Justice? Oh, so we just left evidence that he created Robo Justice and also decided not to lock his door. And it's in Hero's room. But wait, these blueprints. Something about them bothers me. Is it the handwriting? I'm guessing that's it. Because they were like just talking about handwriting like 2 seconds ago. What's in your bathroom, bruh? I soundlessly checked the bathroom. There's nothing in here. It's pretty grungy though. How does the bathroom even get this dirty? Glad I didn't have to see what was on the other side. One of those monitors. It's a normal bed, pretty much like any, or like the one in my room. Bam, 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 bam. Surveillance camera. I guess he has some more evidence on him somewhere. leave the area. Oh. Makoto, big news! Big news! What's wrong? We found Kyoko. What? Is she okay? Where is she? Wait, I wasn't done. There's more big news.
Just a second.
Robo Justice showed up too. Robo Justice? It's Hiro wearing the costume.
Okay.
Anyway, as soon as you can, head to the pool on the second floor. I think Hiro and Kyoko would turn up at the same time. Anyway, I have to head to the pool. Ran to the second floor as fast as I could. Oh, so he wasn't tired and just forgot to lock his door. He decided, I'm gonna go for a swim and then fall asleep.
Yeah.
Unless he's just alive, pinned by Kyoko. Well, obviously alive, but asleep. Not asleep, just pinned by Kyoko in the costume. It's like, ha, I pinned you. There's no way you can defend yourself. You're able to carry heat for me, like you're some sort of god, but you can't fight me because I'm plot armor. Kyoko, and
I mean,
you, man, I had the worst day. Hiro? Hiro? Huh?
Oh, hey,
Yeah,
Makoto.
duh. Who else would it be? That's a good question. Huh? What? Why do I look like this? Did someone come along and remodel me while I was sleeping? What is this? Or what? Or was it the Illuminati? Never come and remodel me? Okay. Talk to someone else. He seems very lost. Or just has finally made an appearance, huh? I guess Kyoko's the one who found him. Okay, so I should probably speak to her.
Right.
I found Hiro. He was jammed into the pool locker. What? Oh. He's like, I know where I'll hide.
Tape a map inside a locker. That, you know.
I'll
open
close
from the
myself in
outside,
a
easy.
yeah. He was jammed to the pool room locker. I think he missed a step when he should have put the costume in there, you know? And he just put himself in there.
Yeah. He's just a little too tired
Yeah.
after a long night of murdering.
Long night and morning.
Yep.
It looks
Didn't
like
get
he
any
was fast
sleep.
asleep, so I kicked him and woke him up.
don't be mean.
He just couldn't make it to his room, so he decided to go to the pool and hide in the locker. You know, always keep him guessing, you know? Always keep him guessing.
Yeah,
I can't believe he
took you
kicked
this
me.
long to find.
You could have been a little more gentle about it, like, I don't know, caress my face or something.
What?
That's creepy. Anyway, Kyoko, where have you been all this time? You just disappeared all of a sudden without trace.
Wow.
There was something I had to check up on. What do you mean? Never mind. I can't, never mind.
It's nothing.
Never mind. Did she take alter ego? She was checking to make sure he was good?
Hey,
More importantly, she did say she had a plan to stop them. So, maybe that's what. But then it seems like she'd basically just be getting them to fight each other. I don't know. We don't need to get into that, you know? She says that, but does she have any idea? Does she know people think she might be spying for the mastermind? First of all, Hiro, you need to explain to us why you're dressed like that.
I mean,
Oh, well, I mean, I have no idea. 1 second I was asleep. I don't even know how that happened when I woke up and when I was here. I don't care. Do something about that costume. It pains me just to look at you. Well, I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help. Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself? See, why would Celeste be?
Yeah. Maybe it's because it was just so obvious that she had to take it
Yeah,
first.
like one of those. Yeah, exactly. It's like she was just waiting for something like that to happen. She'd be like, ah, no, it wasn't me, right? Because like you designed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got it all wrong.
I didn't make this stupid thing.
it would seem.
There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. Looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off in your. Why? How? So he can't get it off on his own, but he can put it on his own.
And
that's some
fall
crazy
asleep in the
design.
locker in the pool.
Well, dude, that was just because he was tired. That's explainable. He wasn't thinking straight.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't really have a choice. Let's help him. So it's like the person who threw him in a costume, locked him in so he couldn't take it off, but didn't think of the fact that, wait a minute, if he can't get it off, how'd he get it on? Whatever, it's fine. He's like, yeah, let's help him. Took everyone's help, but slowly we were able to get Hiro out of the suit. Took a few minutes, but eventually we got all the pieces off. We were free at last. Isn't it kind of weird how perfectly the suit fits Hiro?
So then.
More to the point, nobody but Hiro would be able to wear that costume. Excuse me? I mean, that might be true. But, wait, what? Hold on a sec.
Honestly,
Don't bother trying to act innocent. The blueprints were in your room as well.
is that okay?
How'd she know? That's all I'm saying. I think she just gave herself away, Jared. How'd you know, Jared? How'd you know?
How'd she know the blueprints were blue?
How'd they know there were prints? The color? The knowledge? I don't know. I don't know, Jared. How'd you know it was a costume? In other words, it's obvious to everyone that you made this costume. That's true. I saw the blueprints myself. Wait, he knew they were... Anyway. Yeah, me too.
Could it be?
And it's obvious. The one who put this costume on and went around attacking everyone
That's terrible.
was Hero. You know, I feel like they have these characters that just like have no sense of anything
Yeah.
that they put in there just to be like, ha, this will be the average player of the game.
Especially in the trials. And it was the first most times. I'm lucky. I think we found the weak link.
To be fair, that's a pretty crucial role. That basically, in a sense, gives her plot armor. Because if you don't have someone who's like, you know, the one doing obvious things, what are you supposed to do, you know? That's who I'd be in the team. Shall we tie him up and gag him?
Just the one.
I'm not against that. Good idea. We wouldn't want him killing anyone. He can't. Okay, you know what? It's fine. Tie me up. Hold on, guys. I think that's going a little far.
That's right.
He may be a suspect, but he deserves fair treatment. Yeah, I mean, attacking blueprints. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
What the heck?
Because he was unconscious since the entire time. And we can prove that because he said so.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't talk your way out of this. It's been decided you killed them. What? Killed who? I have no idea what you're talking about. There must be a fake hero running around.
What are you saying?
You're the only one who can wear this costume. So who else could possibly be the costumed attacker?
What the heck?
How do you know I'm the only one? Maybe you should try it on for yourself before you convict me.
Okay.
Fine, if you're gonna be a jerk about it, I will. Without missing a bit, Hina started putting on the robe. Just, oh, let me guess. I can guess a certain part that might not fit in the costume. Never mind, it fits perfectly fine.
See, look.
Her legs, they seemed a little bit bigger than Hero's. Ah, see,
Yeah,
look.
sure.
See how loose it is?
Come on.
I mean, come on, yeah.
Blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me.
And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's not a very nice thing to say.
he's feeling assaulted by something of the design that he didn't build. Like, hey, that works perfectly fine. Phoenix Wright characters make more sense. Phoenix Wright's cringe though. Who wants to be in like a law room, be like, objection, you're wrong. My client couldn't have done
You
this
just say,
because it wasn't
"You're
them.
wrong."
No, Phoenix Wright might actually be good, but I don't know. It doesn't interest me. It's not weeb enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I made it.
Objection.
Just got caught up in the moment.
Your mother. That's a good one. In here, it's like, no, you're wrong, and it's like, truth bullet, you know? It's like a lot more cringe anime, you know?
Exactly. To shoot people's words. Like, what's cooler than that?
Yeah. That's the game. I mean, yeah. I'm sure it's probably pretty similar to this. Except this way you get to do like really cool investigation. Well, that I feel like only takes place in like a courtroom. Maybe not though.
Well, either way, now we know for sure, right? I mean, it seems pretty clear that nobody but Hero could have fit into this dumb costume.
I don't know about that. In a huff, Hina took the suit back off again.
Ah.
Well, now you're all out of excuses. No, see, it's because you're a girl. If it was another guy, then. Makoto, go ahead. Okay. I feel like I'd be able to fit fine. Against my will, I picked up the pieces off the floor and tried putting them on. It's no good. The arms are too long. There's no way I can wear this.
Just a second.
Hey, I told you it was impossible. You're absolutely right. It seems this costume was made to fit Hero's body. Exactly. Ha! I don't know. But she said something.
Yeah.
Then there's another costume. There must have been one that looks the same, but fits them.
Honestly.
If you insist on this line of defense, then show us some evidence.
What the heck?
Evidence? Claim there's another suit, yes, and you must find it and show it to us. What the heck?
Just the worst.
Who cares? Hero's the only one without an alibi during this whole thing anyway.
That's terrible.
Which is how we know it was him.
What?
I mean, is that really true? I have no idea what's been happening. Could someone like tell me? The costume. They give me no indication of who I should talk to. I'll talk to him. Maybe I'll tell him what's going on.
What the heck?
If you don't tell me what's going on, how am I supposed to understand? I think I figured out that someone's been killed, right? Hey, Makoto, who was it? Well, 2 people were killed. Taka and Hifumi. What? 2 people?
Just the worst.
Why are you freaked out? You did it. I did not. Wait, hold on. If those 2 are the ones that were killed,
How about that?
that's it. I know who did it.
So then,
You may as well tell us then. Taka and Hifumi were fighting over Alter Ego, right?
I'm at least
Which means Alter Ego and or Chihiro must have done it.
correct.
I see that's unfortunate. Huh? Unfortunate? Stop trying to trick us just to admit you did it, okay? I'm telling you, you got it all wrong.
Oh,
I know. That note. Note. Last night, someone slipped a weird note under my door. And here's what it said. I found a hole maybe we could use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m. The last thing I remember is going to the rec room, then for some reason I fell asleep.
Hey.
The real killer probably drugged me or something.
Just the worst.
Not a chance. I mean, there's a chance because the med thing was just open. Someone could have created a drug, you know?
So,
No, hold on. He could be onto something. The nurse's office did have chemicals that could do that. What, really? I told you someone's trying to set me up. A secret passage, a chance to escape. Someone wrote all that to trick me. But who was in the rec room at that time? Definitely not Celeste.
Exactly.
Only where she was. Yeah, exactly. And she was beat up by Hero, so. Yeah. Even if that's true, you must have been one dumb fish to bite every piece of bait that floats in front of you. Well, after being trapped here so long, even if you know it's a lie, you still gotta check, right? Yahoo, they pried on my desire to get out of here. They deceived me. I still don't buy it.
Don't be mean.
Well, you should buy it.
Just a second.
Okay, then show us the note. With pleasure. I have it right here in my pocket.
No way.
Looks like I lost it. Yeah, sure. Please, you gotta believe me. I wouldn't hurt a fly. As I said before, if you want us to believe you, you should produce evidence. Can you show us that note? I have no particular issue with what you claim, but if you want us to believe you, give us a reason. What the heck? For serious? Now then, shall we resume our investigation? There's no time to waste before the class trial begins. Why do we need to keep investigating? We already know who did it.
What the heck?
Why? Why did you kill them? Tell us, Hero. See, I feel like in these situations, they should be getting more information on what they're doing besides just like the last little bit of time, you know? Like, where was Hero in the time to where he could have gotten all those materials and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like, did he do it at 1 a.m.? It's like, could someone could have accounted for that, you know? I don't know. No, it's like I said.
Just the worst.
Was it really to get the money Monokuma offered us? Yeah, that must be it. It must be totally, or you must be totally broken, that's why. Wait, that's a false accusation? Please, someone help me.
What are you saying?
Just be thankful we haven't bound and gagged you. If you have time to yell and carry on, you have time to search for your evidence, right? Ah, you're right. I need to go look for a second suit in that note. Feet don't fail me now. I guess I'd better get back on guard duty. I was gonna ask Toko or Genocide Jack to switch with me. But if she and Sakura got into a fight, we'd have a catastrophe in our hands. Well, bye. But she did leave her post. Wouldn't it be crazy if she was the killer? Oh my god. I didn't even think about that. She has an alibi, but so does everyone else. Except hers like backed up. Anyway, one by one, everyone peeled away.
Makoto.
Makoto, do you have a second? Huh? I want you to help me with the
It
investigation.
would seem
Looks like I got a late start to this one, so I need to make up some ground. Sure, don't mind helping, but can you promise me something? Later when we have time, will you tell me why you disappeared?
why is that?
No. You rejected me so simply. Anyway, I need your help. You don't mind, do you? Okay.
Shall we go?
Thanks. Now then, shall we?
Hey,
Makoto, first I'd like to examine the corpses. Examine the corpses? I can't believe I'm hearing that from the girl the same age as me.
correct.
Dead bodies don't lie, you know. They tell the truth far more easily than the living.
Hey,
Wouldn't you agree? How am I supposed to answer?
anyway,
We need to hurry before the class trial begins. Again. Yeah, you're right. Okay, then show me where the bodies are. They're in the repository. Then I guess I should head that way for now. Okay. 3rd floor. Repository means art room. Doo doo doo. You know what I haven't done yet, which I want to, but I don't know exactly how to do it. Something about like a joke about a bust, because like a bust is like a statue, but also. Okay, to the repository.
Just okay.
Hifumi and Taka. For a moment, Kyoko seemed to go rigid. rigid. I don't know, but only for a moment.
So then,
Well then, let's get started. She crouched down next to Taka without hesitation, began poking and prodding the bodies.
I knew it.
The Monokuma file was right. They were killed using similar weapons. Her movements were so smooth. She was so calm. Seeing how comfortable she was actually made me feel a little more comfortable. I don't know who to talk to. I guess her.
I see.
But Godo, I found something. You did? You remember the wristwatch Taka always wore in his left hand? He did?
Whew.
Are you so oblivious to the people around you? Do you dislike other people that much? No, that's not it. Anyway, so you said he had a watch.
So then,
Take a look. It's broken. You can see the hands aren't moving, right? It's most likely broke when he had his encounter with his assailant. And if you notice, the hands are frozen at just past 6 o'clock. That would mean the watch was broken sometime just after 6.
that's right.
The last night, Taka's watch definitely wasn't broken. How long were you going to keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he started pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know. You know that bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
In other words,
So if it worked at 10 p.m. last night, or 10 last night, it could have been broken at 6 p.m. Meaning it must have happened at 6 this morning. Broken wristwatch.
however,
That's not all. Look at Taka's left hand. It appears to be gripping something. Is that water? That's right. There's something written on it. Or white on it? I don't know what it said. I'm guessing red, but it looked like white and also wrote. Anyway, can you try and pry it out? Me?
because
Rigor mortis has already set in. Boys are better suited for this kind of manual labor, right? Okay. Rick and Morty. As much as I didn't want to, I grasped Taka's cold hand. The ice cold hand was nearly enough to cause my heart to stop beating. After some effort, I was finally able to free the object from his tightly clenched fish. A piece of paper.
hey,
Is that all he had in his hand? Yeah, that's it. This little scrap of paper doesn't seem like much of a clue, does it?
is that right?
I wonder about that. Yoko then turned to Hifumi's body.
So then,
Let's check Hifumi's body now. Perhaps he left a few clues of his own. You know what would be great? If we had people that were really well versed in like the drugs to see if he was drugged, how long something like that would affect him. To see how long he would have been knocked out if he was drugged. To see if the time adds up. Let's check Hifumi's body now. Perhaps he left us a few clues of his own. The scrap of paper. Is it just literally just... I'm guessing he tore it from something, so that probably will help.
Well, see, they're trying to tell us that only Kyoka examined the piece of paper in his hand. No one else noticed.
I didn't notice, Jared. I looked at the bodies.
Sure, maybe they're playing the same game. Kyoka got some hacker magic.
Like I said, it's the perfect crime, dude. If we can't gain information because the game doesn't allow us, you know?
Exactly, like the bodies just aren't investigatable.
Like we didn't know Hifumi was not dead, you know? To be fair,
We can't check his pulse, we can't see that his body's like warm or whatever. Can't feel his breathing.
plus
There's also-
Monokuma even thought he was dead, to be fair. And then he wasn't dead.
Yeah.
So, fine.
Maybe he was dead the whole time. We were being tricked.
Zombie. In your head. The biggest problem I have right now is how the killer was able to move Hifumi's massive corpse from the nurse's office when he was discovered to here, the repository. All the way to the first floor and the third, and all without anyone noticing it. I just can't see how that's possible. It's like the thing is that he doesn't use his own evidence because they don't want to piece it together at all for us. So it's like, but his glasses were wiped, the cloth was there, so it had to have been his because the anime character, unless someone stole his glasses cleaning thing to clean his glasses before they carried his body. To be fair, it'd be a great way if they were trying to act like he was alive. You know?
Yeah.
But that...
It'd have us all fooled.
Further, it seems like Hifumi died from the blow to the head. He was most likely killed using just his hammer 3, which we found in the nurse's office. But when we found his body in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered in blood. But now they're spotless. Does that mean someone wiped his glasses cleaning it? But who would do that and why? Okay, am I out of here? Oh, so I gotta talk to her again. So did you find anything? I did, more than I expected, to be honest. Look at this. A wad of paper.
that's right.
Hifumi had it hidden on him. Hidden.
Indeed.
He'd stuffed it in his pants, so I can only assume he'd hidden it on purpose, you see? In his pants, wait, so you...
Why is that?
It was just his pants, not like his socks or something. I don't know what that means.
Hey,
Anyway, let's just take a look at the paper. Go ahead, Makoto, open it up. I mean, to be fair, Never mind. When I think of how it was stuffed down his pants, it's like, it better be important, Heath-me, or I'll never forgive you for this. A note. And look, the piece of paper was torn. I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. I got a question though. Why does it matter that Taka ripped the piece of paper? Maybe that'll all come together. Monokuma can't find out. Don't tell anyone else. For now, let's meet in the equipment room at 6 p.m. 6 a.m.
So,
That sounds very familiar. That's it. It's the same thing Hero said. Then he was telling us the truth.
however,
Although it's not exactly the same, is it? Oh, unless... Okay, that makes sense then. They gave it to Taka, and then Heath-me took it from Taka, but he grabbed the piece and ripped the piece of paper from it. To say that it was basically Taka's piece of paper, I guess. Is basically the argument. Last night, someone slipped a weird note under my door. Here's what it said. Yeah, I got it. It was 2 seconds ago, game. But his was at 1 a.m. Yeah, time is different. Here's what the note said to meet at 1 a.m. But the note they wrote to Heath-me asked him to meet at 6 a.m.
is that right?
Hold on, just because Heath-me had a note doesn't mean it was meant for him.
So,
Part of it had been torn off, right? I think there's likely some meaning there. There's some meaning to the part of it being ripped. Could you maybe explain it a little more? Think carefully. Why would it have been clutched, or why would he have been clutching that scrap of paper so tightly? I have no idea.
so then,
What if it wasn't just a scrap of paper when he was holding it? What if it was something more important? And how would something important like that become a mere scrap of paper? That's what you need to answer. I think I pieced that together very easily. It was literally right after another. I feel like it's pretty obvious.
hey,
Yeah.
Well,
They
Brad-
hold their hand to the easiest stuff.
Yes. And while we're at it, I should tell you one more thing. The 2 victims this time definitely had their e-handbooks on them. So the handbooks have nothing to do with how the murders were carried out. Now that there was any reason to think they were connected to the killing in the first place. So you're saying I don't have to think about the handbooks this time, right?
is that right?
If you didn't have to think about them at all, I wouldn't have gone out of my way to mention it. Oh. What? Okay. All I said was that they weren't used to help carry out the murders. There may come a point, however, where the handbook may play a role. Handbook may play a role I don't think I understand. But if Yoko thinks it's important, I better keep it in mind. Okay, what? Don't forget about them, but they have nothing to do with the murders.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Are you excited?
Unless it's
Are
like,
ya pumped?
Makoto,
It's time for the class trial.
remember when I
Think
mentioned
about
the
the whole thing.
e-handbooks? And you're like, wait a minute. E-handbooks! It's like, yes, I mentioned them. They have nothing to do with the murder. But you know what does have to do with the murder? This. You know? And then,
Yeah.
that's all I can imagine. Are you excited? Are you pumped? It's
Like
time.
the bright burst of fireworks, like the flash of a soul clashing with life and death. And so, with no further ado, everyone please meet at the usual spot. Make your way to the red door on the
first floor.
of the school.
Crazy.
See you soon.
Wait, what is Monokuma drinking? Blood? Apple? No, it wouldn't really be apple juice, but it's red.
Blood and apple juice are not at all the same color.
A nice red wine, perhaps? I don't know. Maybe it's just there for a simple aesthetic, because I doubt he drinks anything.
It would seem.
It's unfortunate, but I suppose this is where investigation comes to an end. You'll have to figure out the rest for yourself and come to a proper conclusion. Yeah, you're right.
Shall we go?
Well, we better get going. Okay. You know, I seem really stupid most of the time, but then, like, I'm actually a genius, you know?
Yeah. It's because when you have control. It's like Joker all over again.
Yes. Huh? What? He wasn't dead? Wait a minute. The robot. I don't know. Everyone had heard Monokuma's proclamation, and they were gathered at the red door. And as soon as they were all there,
Monokuma appears!
there's 2 of them! Hey! He multiplied.
Wrong.
Nope, not multiplication. This looks that way because of an illusion. I'm moving so fast it looks like I've multiplied. Can you guys tell which one is the real Monokuma? I believe neither. Can we just get to the elevator already?
Boy.
You're not playing along?
Stop talking.
We're not here to play with you.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Hey,
And if anyone here is ready to go, please board the pain train or elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Okay then, shall we?
Please.
Hold on, I'm not mentally prepared yet.
What the heck?
You'll never be mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, hero. You're gonna pay for your sins.
What the heck?
I told you already, I didn't do it, for serious.
Hmm.
That reminds me, did you ever find the other costume worth a note? Well, no, but unfortunately, it would seem we have our culprit.
Hey,
The death's like screech. This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
She's right. Let's get down there. Then the story can really begin.
Then we can
You
tell
gotta
everyone how wrong they are.
That's right. See, the thing that I find so weird though, is that I feel like it would be just so obvious for it to be Celeste, especially because like I decided to talk to Celeste right beforehand. It's like, I can't wait to pin our luck against each other to see who's really the lucky one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that wasn't like something that I had to do, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to do it. I can't let whoever killed Hoofamy. Who's Hoofamy? Heafamy and Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive. And the two that lost their lives. Oh no, Heafamy. But Taka's dead. Who killed Taka? The one who killed Heafamy and Taka, the one who killed two of our friends. The killer is one of us. Someone right here. Same thing.
The synonyms.
Yes. I took one
like
last
that
deep
called
breath
Ed.
and exhaled slowly. Now I'm prepared. I'm beginning to walk towards the elevator. Once everyone is aboard, all aboard the pain train or elevator. The doors close on their own, and the steel box began to move. A deadly life, a deadly. I'm waiting for it. The clunk of the elevator kept company as we fell further and further. There was no way back. Until we settled all this, we couldn't go anywhere. He's not gonna do
There
it.
were.
I'm not sure how long it's going to be before the elevator finally came to stop. The elevator doors slid open, opening up to the cruel fate. Didn't even do like the deadly life, deadly. I wanted that. When I see you all gathered together like this, I realize how few of you there are left. Your school life really is slowly reaching its climax. Only because of you. Why? Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other? You really hate me so much, but I'm so cute.
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial. Don't rush me. Of course I'm going to start it. I would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break. I never hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats. Until the curtain opened once again. Deadly judgment. Oh, a deadly deception, a deadly
Yeah.
betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial.
Heck yeah.
Saddle
Now
up,
I'm pumped.
boys, because we're about to ride.
Got a fire in my belly. Set skills.
I don't think I have
That's what I've
anything
got.
new. Handiwork. Allows you to reload 2 bullets at once. Effective during a bullet time battle. I can reload 2 bullets? What?
I don't even know what that means.
Same here.
I could have sworn I got another skill.
You know, I probably should have looked over my, what's it thing.
Let's
I'm sure you'll be
begin with a
fine.
basic
I'm not looking over it
explanation of
either.
the
Let's
class
go.
trial. So, your votes will determine the
All rise.
results. If you can figure out
I'm surrounded by
who
death.
done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you,
You
pick
picked the wrong one.
then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with,
We already know who did it.
was that?
It was Hero. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit.
Celeste is smarter than
Don't
this.
try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't. Someone knocked me out. I was asleep the whole time. I don't know anything about it.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hero, but we do have evidence. Blueprint for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know. I don't know.
Loaded.
But is he really the killer, or before anything else, we have to make that clear? Yasuhiro's message.
Everything we found in your room. The
In Hiro's
blueprints,
room.
The suit parts, they are all
The evidence is
enough
proof
that
positive.
you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about
I'm just bringing
that
this up
stuff.
now.
It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
That was it really evidence?
Hero, why? Why
Just
did
like
you
Hina
kill them?
said.
No, just hold on a second.
This time they're not gonna get more information. Nice.
I mean, looking
I
at the
took a
blueprints,
gamble.
that handwriting is awfully messy. If I remember right, the handwriting is.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the
Okay.
No, it's wrong.
It's the blueprint. You were confused. But I'm sure you got past that, so.
Are we sure Hero really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared.
Maybe we should have gotten everyone to write down their things so we could track the handwriting.
The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say?
That's something I probably would have done first. Over anything if I was working, not working, but like part of the Danganronpa group, right? I'd get every single person to write something, even if I was like tricking them into doing it, right? Just so I could compare handwritings later on.
When you compare it to the blueprints,
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
Oh, yeah. This guy, he's really smart, so he'd think to disguise his handwriting.
no, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on. I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
I third that.
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit?
Well, Hiro was in the suit.
Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running
know, they're
around
trying
in
to
a
trick
second
us.
suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
Well, of course he passed it off to me.
So, who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
The suspicious question, the one that must have been in the suit was... Did they really do Hina just to confuse? I mean, to be fair, Hina was in the suit. You know, let's be real. But the Illuminati, I don't think was in the suit. We know Hiro was in the suit though, and Hina though. To be fair, but
Hero, I can't think of anyone else it could have
that's
been.
another situation though, where it's not wrong, right? Because Hina was in the suit. You know. But alas, that's something I'd bring up to be like, okay, we're just gonna vote Draven out. You know, I don't want to deal with this anymore. You know. Anyway.
Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
We also never saw the suit kill anyone, and there's no blood on the suit. You know, that's weird. Why was that never brought up? There's literally no blood on the suit. How would they have avoided that much?
Yeah.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
Explain to me how there would literally be no blood on the costume.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So
Yes.
what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
I don't think it really, that's like saying it's, oh, I got this hot take, you know, but it's not a hot take whatsoever.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
Why is that what needs to be done first? What? Like, shut up, girl. I know what I'm talking about. We need to find, there's a proper order for everything. So who moved the body? You know? Out of all the things, that's okay.
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Tarp? Hey, can I choose two things?
One at a time, though.
Okay, well, I'm choosing tart first because it's higher on the list.
Yeah, same.
There's still one more thing. The things that were used to move Taka's body, they must have been the door. Where is it? Wait, where is it? Where's the dolly? Or do I just use the equipment room bloodstain? Oh, the dolly. That's it. Okay, found it.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's wrong with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain.
Was I wrong? They acted like I was an idiot. And it's like, you failed.
Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository.
I'm so confused. Why was I harassed on that? I don't understand. Did I do it in the wrong order? Or was that just like supposed to be how the response was? Seems like a really stupid... Okay.
And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp. Right? It was the same tarp that up until then was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure
It'd be
you're not
awful.
mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
The dolly
There's
marks.
no shame in being wrong.
That's how I know.
Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on.
Celeste is like, she's gloating in the fact that she like made a mistake. I never really had any sound or had anyone sound so nice while being so mean, but maybe I can change your mind. If I can just explain to them that why the dolly has been moved from the equipment room and why. Okay. A new element's been added. Reloading. Starting with next time bullet time battle, we're gonna add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the top of your screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see ammo count. Until now, there hasn't been any limit on how you destroyed your opponent's statements. But now, from now on, just locking on and pressing the left mouse button won't be enough to handle them. Now it'll cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the tab key. Just like locking on, you'll have to press the tab key and time it to tempo. Basically, just remember the tab key now has a function along with the... Okay, so it's going to be awful. Okay, you will automatically reload at the start of fever time when your ammo will not decrease. Oh, but if your action difficulty is sensitive until you won't have to reload at all. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. But then good luck and have fun. I'm assuming we're about to go into a tempo battle.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Do your worst. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. I can't.
This should prove it.
Bang! That was really easy.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
I'm expecting more of a response, but Jesus, let's really hate me that much.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer.
There's no blood.
If you
That's
look
already a
back
good reason.
on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
The dolly, it says the only way to do it is by bending over, and like how we said, you can't even move or bend the waist. I don't know, something like that. If you look at how the body was moved, it'll be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? Okay, what's my option? Is it the suit? Yes, okay. So it's just you can't bend down to the waist.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Come on, Makoto, don't scare me like that. Makes me think something weird is going on. But he couldn't have loaded up with the dolly because of the stupid costume. Shit.
But let me guess, the next line's gonna be like, and then
that is
pushed
true.
it.
Equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
To be fair, how they couldn't have loaded the body anyway, but you know.
Yeah.
Then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
It doesn't have a handle, so we'd have to bend down and grab it. I can't.
As we know, Taka was killed in the
So
equipment room.
stupid.
And from there,
You have to choose the right lie wrong.
correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do...
Bend over. Guess what, Jared? That one's it.
Huh?
I'm never making a decision again.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low.
I will literally watch the things 3 times and then identify it instead of just going with all the things that are lies and deceptions. I just have to choose the very, very specific lie and deception, even though there's 3 that all make sense.
But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
To load a body, you know? And if the handle's broken, I'd have to bend down to get it.
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm blind as a bat. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend it to the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight. Maybe he took it off to move the body. But he couldn't have because of him.
Not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
You use your feet to push it. Easy.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
That's a great observation.
You can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
I think so.
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
You don't have to
On top of
see
that,
to...
If you were wearing such a
See,
rigid,
I don't know.
cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's absolutely no chance that the costume was taken off just to move the body because once on, you can never take it off. Here is not strong enough. You can't take it off by yourself. I'm just gonna go. You can't take it off by yourself.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember,
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make this stupid thing. This clasp on the back keep you from getting it off. Looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. We don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Hero wasn't even the one to mention that he couldn't take it off himself.
Of course I
Well,
wasn't making
he mentioned
it up.
that he couldn't take it off, but he didn't say, I need help taking it off. He didn't know what the thing was.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
They also still haven't got to the point of why would you wear a suit?
So,
Unless you were
really
unless
Robo Justice couldn't have moved the
A,
doll?
you were trying to pin it on someone, or B, you could take pictures. You know?
I mean, assuming that
Whoever did
everyone
the
wouldn't have
body
had alibis,
couldn't
if
have
you were
been
wearing a
Hero
suit
in
and
the
you were
robot
actively
suit,
attacking
correct?
people, it would make sense to keep your identity hidden.
But everyone did have alibis. So I'm saying, you'd be the only one without an
Yeah.
alibi, so keeping your identity hidden means nothing.
Yeah, but he didn't know that at the time, probably.
I don't know, even still, I feel like it doesn't make sense to hide your identity whatsoever in a situation like that.
Well, I mean, imagine, like, say, everything that went down. If he just wouldn't have had the costume, then people would have seen that it was him.
But
And he can
who?
only kill 2 people.
Who would have seen
Like,
him?
say, even if he, like, wasn't noticed by, like, Celeste or Heathme when he first attacked them. Like, say, when you were tracking him down through the place.
Yeah. Well,
If he wasn't wearing a costume, then it would have just been him.
yeah, but you gotta remember the only reason he did those things was because he was in costume. Like, say, the only reason he, like, took people to different rooms and moved things around and all that stuff was because the fact that he would have had the costume to, like, basically there was no point to do any of that stuff except for the fact that you put the costume into play there. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only reason you'd let Celeste live, for example, would be the fact that you have a costume, so there's no way they can know your identity, right? The only reason you would let
Yeah,
Heathme
that's
live,
definitely a way to go about things.
same thing, right? Because then you could argue, why was Celeste not wearing a costume when she was doing stuff like killing Heathme there? You know, hides her identity. No one would see it was her. Like, she could have put on the robot costume to kill Heathme, and then took it off. You know, could have been literally a second suit, or again, just he could have been sleeping in the locker, put him into the costume. You know, because the suit plays no part. It's completely useless except for the fact of pinning someone and the fact that there's a camera.
Yeah.
So there's really, the person using the suit would make no sense, especially to go out of your way to make such a suit like that that's perfectly fit and you would keep the evidence in your room, right? If anything, you'd want to wear something that would, like,
Definitely not likely. But just wearing a costume in general doesn't sound like the worst idea.
well, again, something like that just really is a good idea, because again, it would have to fit you for you to work with it. Like, say, for example, they argued the point that he's the only one that could fit in it, right? So it's like, literally, if you just found the costume, it's like, everyone put on the costume. It's only gonna fit one person, right? So it's like, for you to make a costume is like the same as you just wearing all black, like very skin tight to where they can basically make out your form, you know?
Yeah.
So again, there's really no point in the costume whatsoever, you know? So it's just like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. Plus you could argue that they literally messaged 2 people to leave, you know, which seems like a stupid idea if you're gonna kill someone, you know? Like, let's bring 2 people along, you know? I'm gonna send messages to Taka and Hero, right? And then, like, Hifumi and Celeste just happen to be there. I don't know, it just seems like a big oversight. And plus, again, the costume, you'd have to somehow get rid of the costume, you know? And plus, you'd have to come up with an alibi by yourself. So just, again, a costume just makes really no sense to incorporate. Except in the fact that you're trying to blame someone else. Because again, even if no one had an alibi, he wouldn't have an alibi. He's like, oh, I was here with this person. You weren't. I was asleep in my room with all this evidence. I don't know. It just, to me, it makes no sense to have a costume in these kind of situations. Like, say, for example, if Mondo would have been wearing a costume, I don't think it really would have mattered because people would still find the costume somewhere, even if he decided to have it in his room. And plus, everyone else would have kind of an alibi as well. You know?
Yeah.
I just feel like it seems like a costume doesn't really benefit you. Unless there was a way to make it completely, like, untraceable to you. And that you wouldn't have a silhouette or anything that would give away that it was you. You know? A way that you completely mask your identity. And it's like, sure, that'd be pretty useful.
No, wait. Just a second, if you please.
But even still, if
Have
there's
you
like
forgotten
one person's
about
missing.
The picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice?
I don't know. So, no, I like in some ways I can see the costume making sense if like in a situation where you killed someone in a costume just in case someone did see you and then you found a way to dispose of the costume and everything, you know? It's like it makes sense. Especially if you, like, say, waited for your turn on like the trash day to like burn evidence, you know? But only burn something like the costume, you know? It's like people wouldn't even know the costume was a part of it. You know? You gotta remember this guy was still in the costume, locked in the locker, and created hammers specifically for that, you know? And so like, it just seems like a really bad idea. But I guess in the sense, like, if you just had a costume, you'd at least have some way of getting away with it if it wasn't just, like, you being there. But the thing is, again, it's just, like, the evidence of the costume is hard. You know? Because you'd have to get rid of the costume. And the only way I feel like you could effectively do that is by literally burning it. And if that was the case, then you'd have to be the one on trash duty. You know?
Yeah.
I'm genuinely surprised that they don't, that's not one of their first accusations. You're like, oh, the serial killer, let's always assume it's them. You know? But I feel like it'd be a pretty fair assessment to always assume that it could be the person on the trash duty as well. The thing is, they could get rid of evidence, you know? So it's like, I feel like checking the trash room every single investigation makes a lot of sense, you know? As well as knowing who's in charge. Because you could literally leave certain evidence, but you could just burn the rest, you know? So it's like, I don't know.
If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How'd you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice, or that's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
See, it's like Celeste, I understand like her thought process on it and like trying to blame Hiro. But the thing is, if they just decipher it's not Hiro, the only person it comes back to is her. You know? That's a downside, you know? Because if it's like, we don't really think it's Hiro. You know? It doesn't make sense for why he would do any of this stuff. Then the only thing it falls back to is Celeste. You know? And again, Celeste doesn't have anyone backing up her alibi or anything, you know? But see, if Hifumi was still alive, they could, again, like, double team that situation, you know? And then it could fall to Hifumi, you know? But again, I think the only reason she would have been the one to kill Hifumi, again, is the situation where she let Hifumi kill them. Like Taka just said she would kill him later. Or if she just decided, I don't trust Hifumi, you know?
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
We'll see. I'm sure we'll learn everything here.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it.
Plus, like, what if, this guy was the, guy on trash duty? That would almost mean that, like, if he was on trash duty, why would he not burn any evidence? You know?
Before we rush to a
Just
verdict,
saying.
shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead
If you're gonna get
seizing
tripped
on
up
one
by that.
viewpoint, the
Definitely.
truth is uncovered
Probably.
by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened.
Yeah.
I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume.
Someone better point to the fact that she was unconscious and took a picture.
As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong? I saw a shadow, something around the top of the stairs. Let's move around.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
What's wrong? That was rather intense scream coming from someone like you. I saw him in the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was walking the stairs, so we headed further down to the hallway and disappeared.
and then...
Yeah. Huh? What was that? It came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement.
Why do they never point out the fact that the other room also had it? Unless they do right here, but...
I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor, to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us, and she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body's disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
She has some crazy luck, you know? Find all the bodies everywhere. Seems like she's always the one finding everything. You know? It's like a self-report, you know? Just like 8 times. That's fine. I'm not suspicious.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated.
They're so lucky, it's almost unlucky. You know what I'm saying, Jared?
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth in this case, I have to find them no matter what. Guessing this is where you said it. I'm gonna get tripped up. Monokuma file number 3. Okay, that sounds like it won't help me, and I'm gonna have to yoink something.
So, regarding Taka's death,
How do you take a
I
thing? I don't
wonder
even know
if
if you
he
remember.
died before Hifumi.
Hold the
Or
shoot.
perhaps it was after.
We already know what order they were killed in.
At least Frey.
Taka came last
What makes you say that?
because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Okay, so I'm assuming I have to take one and then shoot the other. The question is that do I do the order and then the hammers, or the hammers to the order? I assume the hammers to the order, but I would have to do it the other way around because you can't,
So,
or you can't carry it over, can you?
Taka's death,
Not that I know
wonder
of.
if he died before Hifumi.
Well, then that would be
Or
easy. It wouldn't trip me up.
after.
Yeah,
Unless
but I
I-
forgot about
We already know what order
memorizing.
they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
I forgot about memorizing. That's a line right there.
No, it's wrong.
Well, usually if it gives me something really useless like Monokuma number 3, that's the first thing I think of.
Hold on.
Makes sense.
There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
That'd be stupid.
If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
Exactly.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi?
Well, to be fair, we know who Hifumi wasn't even dead until the last one, because that's when he actually died. You know? He has the announcement. So I think that would be pretty obvious that Taka was already dead.
Okay then, let's see the proof.
Plus, I don't understand how that's even debatable that Taka died later. You know what I mean? Because, like, this guy was just walking around. Taka's just chilling somewhere the entire day. Nowhere to be seen. He just left, you know? And then after Hifumi died, which is at, like, 8 something, then they decided, ooh, I'm just gonna kill Taka because he's just chilling in this room doing nothing. You know? Seems a little stupid. Evidence proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's something which relates to what time he must have died. I'm guessing the broken watch. Hangman's game. It's gonna be watch. Oh my god. Wrist watch. Okay. What? Oh. I didn't know you actually had to do it in the order. Did they ever even say you had to do that?
Now I understand.
Surprised that hasn't happened before where I've messed up because of the order. Funny.
See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
Hey you, how long are you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierces the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock. You know what? Bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
I didn't even think about it. That it happened before Celeste was attacked.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of
This-
the other incidents took place.
That didn't really seem
I failed this
relevant.
one thing like 3 times.
You've what?
Failed the same one like 3 times.
That simple fact
It's the usual
slipped
thing for me.
past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window.
Accurate.
Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
And the thing is, though, is that with that situation, we don't know if there can only be one culprit. You know? 'Cause that's where it gets confusing. You know? Because, like, could there technically be two blackened right now? You know? Because otherwise, if hopefully Monokuma will come in and say something like that, you know? Like, if a, like, I don't know, how does that, because they'd have to say if a blackened one was murdered, then the person who murdered the blackened one becomes blackened, right? But that would basically mean Hifumi killed them, so I'd have to figure out that Hifumi killed Taka first, you know? But that seems like one of the things I would wind up doing last, you know? Because I feel like out of anything, it doesn't even matter who killed Taka. If we figure out that someone, or whoever killed Hifumi, then Taka's murder literally doesn't matter, because we don't even need to figure that out.
I have no idea what I'm doing. Am I missing a trick or something?
Well, we'll find out. Give me like 10 minutes to catch up. That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down
I
to
think
the
by now I've
nurse's
tried
office.
every combination.
That's where we found his body.
I'm sure I'll get a first try, dude.
Maybe. But if so, there's gotta be just something I'm missing that's like massive.
Your shots.
Like I just, dang. Like the phrasing just like off in a sense that I literally have no idea what's going on.
I never thought of using a recording for the scream.
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
When did Kyoko find murder robot guy at the pool? You know, 'cause that would also depend on the fact of if Hifumi died to the robot guy. You know, even though we already assumed that it probably wasn't him who killed Taka.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
So again, really all this is leading up to, it's like, okay, well, if it couldn't have been anyone, the only thing that makes sense is Hifumi moved himself, right? That would have to come to mind, like, did Hifumi move himself? Because he technically wasn't even dead until the very end. Like, how'd he move himself? You know? And then it'd be like, oh, let's bring up this.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then.
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
For
Well,
now,
now
we can't
Kyoko.
get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how.
How did it
In particular,
happen?
I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere.
I've got to be missing a trick. I've literally tried everything.
Give me a second. I'm sure I'm going to be right there in a
According to
second.
what Celeste said,
I've actually straight up failed this one 3 times.
That's fine. I could have not, or it could not have been gone more than a minute or two. So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time. It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the 3rd in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah. There's no way. It'd be impossible.
Well,
Well, I gotta think.
what if I told
Okay.
you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
Magic.
If the dead body were to move itself.
Huh?
The dead body moved on its own?
No, not another.
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
Well, we actually know for a fact he was still alive.
He was alive?
We know for a fact he was still alive because he wasn't dead until the very end.
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
It doesn't make sense that he moved out on his own. You could still argue that maybe he was knocked out, you know, but we know for a fact he wasn't dead. Unless he came back to life.
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
Did Hifumi was still alive? Is that really possible? No one about the Monokuma file. Broken wristwatch. That has nothing to do with anything.
Are you
What had
saying
nothing to
that
do with
when we
what?
first
The
found
broken
Hifumi in the
wristwatch.
nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really
That's
so
cringe.
sure about that?
Got the
Maybe
answer.
The announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Is this the one you're on? Or we're
What?
on? Not the broken wristwatch?
Yeah.
Well, the broken wristwatch I feel like has nothing to do with anything. So it would have to be the flashback.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended
to signal someone else's discovery.
Okay.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was
Intended to signal someone else's discovery.
What?
Shoot! Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance?
What? How is that not it? It was someone else's discovery. He wasn't dead. What? How is that not the combination?
Bullcrap.
Shoot!
I have discovered some interesting tech. No,
Well,
I feel like
I already
this
figured
won't
out
go
the tech.
well.
But
What tech?
that it does transfer through. That's what I just did. Where it was someone else's discovery. He was still alive. You know? Like someone else died, he was still alive. Wasn't it? I guess it's not a contradiction, you know? I guess he was actually dead. Not another dead body. Frick you, game. It can't be everything's wrong. It can't be like that. That's so stupid. Everything I say is right. It's just not the exact phrasing they're looking for. Bullcrap.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office,
Can I speed up this?
there's a chance he was actually...
No. If Hifumi was dead, and you know that, surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he would... No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that, surely you heard the body discovery announcement.
Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he would... No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that...
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with Hifumi's dead body.
Bro. No. Why does it?
Shoot. Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he would... No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that... Surely you heard the body discover Hifumi's dead body, and that is why... Are we really...
Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's
discovery.
So the white noise you destroy by
Found Hifumi in the there's a chance he was actually still alive.
Well, I press A, so.
It is impossible. Hifumi was dead, and you know that...
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of Hifumi's dead body.
No, it's wrong.
I got it. I failed like once, but again, that order was really weird.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Oh, I mean, no, I mean, it definitely, Hifumi was definitely dead. It definitely wasn't somebody else because he wasn't alive. It can't be that. It can't be that. There's no way. That's impossible because we already tried that. That's not a contradiction. Stupid egg, you die. It's your fault. You die. Frick you, you die.
True.
Bathroom egg. Someone should know you're wrong to Naegi.
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere.
Well, there's actually no chance of
I think
mistake.
we've
Couldn't
confused
have been
whether
some
the
body.
announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
Except for the second announcement.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
Oh, I think I see how that played out. So what? It was Byakuya and Toko, and then Toko passed out, and then Sakura came in. So technically 3 people were there, but she was knocked out, so they weren't seeing it at the same time. And then when Naegi came in to talk about Hafumi, then the announcement played.
No, actually, that was plenty. Huh? He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
The second body discovery announcement. The first time it played was when we found each body in the nurse's office and the equipment room. The second one was when, just after Hifumi came back to life, when both bodies were rediscovered.
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Ding dong. Body's been discovered. After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet.
To be fair, when Monokuma played the announcement, he also wasn't dead yet.
Meaning
But, you know,
he wasn't
fine.
actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
Even though he wasn't found dead, but yeah, whatever.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
The cloth.
I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
It has to be proved to show Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show a different one. I'm guessing it's the cloth. That's my little truth bullet. It was glasses. Okay.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, it's wrong!
I'm crazy.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
You haven't found the trash can in the nurse's office, was? The cleaning cloth. That's definitely his. Anime girl.
It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
How does she remember that?
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
Okay, I thought I heard like maybe Pigs was just whipping the frick out of my door.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
Exactly.
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
So it wasn't paint. It was blood from the nurse's office. But couldn't they check to see if there was out of it?
Dad, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot!
Isn't it like really unsanitary to like just like have other people's blood on you like that? Couldn't you like get a lot of diseases from that?
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance
It's
of
so
Taka's
gross.
body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
The one that moved Taka's body was Hifumi.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
Okay, now see, you're piecing that together, right? But then who was the other victim that could have been the other assailant? Me. It was me. I did it. You guys got me.
That means he took part in the murders.
No, Hifumi was already dead. There's no way he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Yes. The note Hifumi had.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Pantaloons.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole. Maybe we can just do escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else. For now, let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
What?
I got it!
I was confused by the phrasing of that.
Right. Taka.
I thought it was who wrote the note, and I'm like, I don't think it was his pants. And I know it wasn't me.
The killer used this
I'm like,
note
wait, it was saying
to
who else
trial
got it.
Taka and murder him.
But I thought that was already obvious, so.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right?
It's not fair that we have to wait for someone to make a mistake in order to talk.
Yeah.
We have the evidence.
TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right? Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still. I can't let her get to me. Also, I need to fight the fact that I had the scrap of paper. I see.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to me?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with
I'm such a genius. Not really, it's just very obvious. But it feels like I'm a genius. Except for what I...
There absolutely is a connection.
What part was it?
The one where it's the broken wristwatch and the time. Because I had no idea what we were going into about. It just mentioned it didn't mention at all what we were fighting about. You know? Like, the note. Who could it have been? And I'm thinking, oh, well, the scrap of paper in his hand. Right?
What the hell are you talking about?
So I'm like, where's this conversation going?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Why'd they move the body from the equipment room to the thing, though? That's what I would know. What was the point of Hifumi doing that?
Someone used that note to trick Taka, just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster, telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it? Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Scrap of paper.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is...
The same one used for the letter.
I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Genius.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note...
You know, the only issue I have with a lot of this stuff, though, is that, like, what if I wrote this note and then ripped up the paper and just said all this stuff? Right? And whoever I was with was just in on it.
Yeah.
Like, say, Kyoko was in it.
Definitely possible.
Or if I put it in his hand beforehand. You know? Like, say, what if I found out Hifumi was alive and decided to kill Hifumi? Right? And then I did that. Right?
Yeah, then Kyoko wouldn't even have to be in on it.
Mm-hmm. Thing is, though, that when would I have found the time to kill him at the
I
repository?
know, it was the guy tampering with the case again. That's why you didn't notice it your first run through. It was while she was gone. It all makes sense now.
Okay, explain that.
The Byakuya guy planted it while you guys were investigating the guy in the locker.
Oh yeah, true. Before Sakura got there.
Heck yeah.
Passed out.
It all
like,
makes sense. Because he's a thrower.
Yes. And Hifumi's also kind of
And he
thrower.
wouldn't say anything about it even if he was voted.
Accurate. The confusing part was you're like, that guy tampering with the case. And I'm like,
yeah, and those
case
people
could be
weren't
used in
there
multiple
yet.
senses, and that guy makes that's a lot of options. The guy tampered with the evidence.
Yup. They're from the same
Crazy.
piece of paper.
I knew who did it, Jared. It was that one person.
Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from its death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
The thing is, though, is that why would he be an accomplice?
Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
Now, see, his argument makes points like, oh, he's still alive, right? Downside to that argument is that the death sound did play, even though, to be fair, Hifumi was still alive when the death sound played, right? But the main thing is that, again, it's still genius to play dead and all that, but the hard part is that he would have to be at this meeting. Alive. So, unless for some reason Monokuma just like, it's another play where they just put his dead body next to it instead of the crossed out portrait, you know? And it's like, that's weird. Why is his not a portrait? Because he's still alive. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead.
Ain't wrong. He was completely and truly alive until he died after saying what he was saying.
The second body discovery announcement proves that.
Was said before he was dead, but it's fine. It's fine. We don't have to get into that. That's not too important.
Who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body.
Okay. The thing is now, right, is that again, they can think who else was involved. They're like the robot person and Celeste was a victim, right? But they didn't talk about the fact that Celeste was in the rec room at 7, right? And the other note that Hero's saying is that to meet at the rec room at 1 a.m. Right? So then who would have done that at 1 a.m.? Did he drug them? You know? I feel like you could kind of argue that, actually. You'd be like, drug this guy, put him in the costume, then Celeste happened to be there, you know? The issue with that, though, is that it was at 1 a.m., you know? So, by that point, I guess it really would start to fall apart around this time, right? Because that would mean Hifumi wasn't getting dragged around by the robot guy, right? If he was the accomplice to it. So then Celeste would know that. That's what I'm talking about. It's so...
In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura
It's
were together.
Celeste. I'm telling you. You guys gotta point a finger at her.
Trying to steal the spotlight,
Can't defend
you
herself.
stupid walrus. Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway,
I really don't like
when they were
Byakuya.
killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
I like Byakuya. He's cool.
He's so mean though.
And what might that be?
Okay.
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
Even when I'm right.
Yeah, but I don't know.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
It seems weird to return it.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either.
Can they say the cause of death was actually caused by the hammer? Can they confirm that? Because just because it looks like it was the cause of death, maybe he was poisoned, right? And the first strike was from when he was hit first.
I mean, wasn't it in the Monokuma file?
Yeah, but I'm saying in the Monokuma file, it may have not said cause of death. It could have said, like, what presumably the cause of death was the strike to the head.
Possible.
The Monokuma file makes
That
it
seems
clear
unfair.
that they were killed using similar instruments.
Seeing that's basically all they're for.
But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
So is there a mysterious 5th hammer? But only 4 were taken, weren't they?
Then...
I think there was only 4.
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
A weapon that was actually used to kill Fumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. I set a game where one of the enemy healers left and then the other healer chose to talk to her on all game. Seems about right. Everyone's a thrower, King Frogs. That's what you should know. If you ever get an advantage, your team will throw harder. You know, to make you lose that. Somehow, I have to find the truth. How am I supposed to find the truth here? What the real murder weapon was? Oh, the spot. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I was wondering when it'd come into play.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it just
More of a question than a thing. We body them.
Maybe
Savage.
Justice Hammer 4.
How about spotless hammer?
Whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon?
Has nothing to do with
How did
anything.
nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice.
Oh, see, I would have chose Justice Hammer number 5 if it was rolling. I would have, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Next thing it appeared was it. I didn't know it was gonna be it.
I didn't wait. It sounded like it'd be the final thing. Because she was so extravagant about it. Like, it must be Justice Hammer number
that's
5.
what I'm saying.
Like, it was gonna end after it.
I'm like, no, I'm waiting. Right?
Because again,
I'm
it probably
waiting.
ends after that next line. So
But the
it's like,
other
how
thing
am
was
I
that's
supposed
like,
to know?
it's like, it had to have been this. And I'm like, no, it wasn't that.
Yeah,
I mean, I
pretty
would have
sure
been
it's
perfectly,
that one.
it wouldn't have been out of the blue for that to be wrong and it to be the Justice Hammer 5, you know? Who knows? Who knows? You know? Another thing that's hard is that the highlighted words isn't all you got to look for because you also have to read the entire context, you know? Because the context putting it in makes a difference. Because like say something, like the first one, the Sakura said something. And it's like technically that one would make sense, except if you read the entire thing, it's not really a contradiction or a lie. You know? It's just when you put the highlighted words together, they have an association. You know? So, see, that's the hard part about the Justice Hammer 5 one. Because technically it's like, oh, looks like this is going to make an appearance. And technically, in a theory, it is a lie and a contradiction because no, the spotless hammer, you know, it couldn't have been a Justice Hammer number 5, you know? So it's like, no, and it's not going to make an appearance because we know it's the spotless hammer. So it's like, in that sense, it makes sense, right? In my opinion, given the context and everything, but then it's just wrong.
But seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean. Huh? And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If
Sure.
the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
I think that was also obvious.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder.
See, Celeste, this is where the twist comes in, because yes, there would be no reason to help, right? But Hifumi must have just been an idiot or way too trusting. Because I assume, again, Celeste offered to help Hifumi kill Taka. You know? For whatever reason. And then get this, Celeste killed Hifumi, since she's the blackened one, and she basically doesn't have any, like, her hands dirty whatsoever, you know? A crime scene that she's basically not attached to, except for some of the mistakes she decided to make by helping him, you know? So it's really her job as an accomplice that got her caught for the killing that was an unrelated thing, you know?
So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but... yeah, what kind of question is this going to be? Okay, the spotless hammer. I'm assuming that I have to use the past.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Okay, whoa, okay. So there's...
memorizing. I despise it.
I don't see how it would even be confusing, at least in this sense, unless you're ahead of me.
Probably.
I'm at the one where it's like the impossible and the other one. Or is that the one you just did? It's like one of the things was impossible. It's like two dead bodies or whatever.
Even if more than one person is complicit in
I
the
think I'm
murder,
past that.
only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
I don't see how two murders go to impossible for them working together. Unless I guess it kind of is a contradiction.
That have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true.
No, it's wrong.
See, it's hard when it's lies and contradictions, you know?
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime.
Yeah, that's what I was considering after they pointed out the two murders, because Hifumi might have thought that, Celeste killed, instead of putting him to sleep. You know? He convinced Hifumi that, okay, I killed this person, and that Hifumi killed Taka, and then, they would basically just work together, you know, to make it impossible. But see, if that's the case, though, why? I guess she would have to grieve me to become blackened. But at that point, couldn't she have killed the hero guy and then not killed Hifumi? Or killed them both? But I guess if you killed them both, then you wouldn't have a witness or like someone to blame it on, right? It just seems weird to leave the... The hard part is, though, is that, like, again, it just depends on how the rule is. Because, like, say, if they did both kill one person, right? Like, say, if she actually did kill, the hero guy. I guess, technically, in that case, though, I don't know, it really depends on circumstances, right? Because, say, if Hifumi were to not die, would Monokuma still have the thing of the mastermind as the blackened one? You know?
Probably.
But then, what if they just kill Celeste? Does Hifumi not get out of there even though he killed someone? Or would he also just get out of there? Like,
Sure, maybe only he would get out? I don't know.
well, I'm saying, like, say, if Hifumi was voted out, would that even count? Because it'd be like, oh, you'd have to vote her out. So then Hifumi dies, or more so, everyone dies. But then, if they vote Celeste, does
If
Hifumi get
only-
caught by...
In what situation? Like, just Hifumi kills
Like,
the guy? Or...
No, say, Hifumi does what he did and killed Taka, but instead of dying because Celeste kills him, well, presumably, Celeste does kill Hiro instead. Because again, what we're assuming is that, and you probably already had this part, to where Hifumi was to kill Taka and Celeste was to kill Hiro, and they were supposed to be each other's accomplices. You know, that's what I'm assuming was told to, Hiro or whatever. But she didn't kill him and they killed him instead, right? To blame it on the, guy, right? Which, again, makes sense. But in a situation where both of them do commit the murder and they are each other's accomplices, how does it work? Are they tried as two different crimes? Or would it be just the mastermind? Or would they have to vote out both of them?
I think they'd have to vote out both of them.
I guess that, I mean, voting out both of them would make sense, but I also feel like that'd be, first of all, very easy to imagine that that would be the case. You know, everyone else would have an alibi. I don't know. Maybe that'd be Howard? I feel like maybe one of the other Danganronpas there was a double murder and it fell by those rules. That just makes sense, but I feel like it also doesn't make sense. You know, but like I said, Monokuma said the one who, they just had to vote out this person. Like whoever masterminded. So I just wonder if he would have the same mindset if Hifumi didn't die. You know? I don't know. No way knowing.
Case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice.
Is there really a rule to have no accomplices, though?
Which, if true, means that
Yeah, I
betraying
didn't quite get
Hifumi
that.
was part of the plan from the very beginning.
Like, so that's the hard part. Like, say for Hifumi, I don't see how he imagined it going. Like, if he killed and she killed, then what's the option there? They're the only two guilty parties at that point, you know? And like I said, if it were to a situation, then like they would either both get voted out or one would get out and one that. I don't know.
That's just
I guess
awful.
given the information that
How could
Celeste
anyone be so cruel?
didn't, like, first of all, would imagine that would be something like that, you know, to where they both get voted out or something like that, and she just wouldn't trust Hifumi to be able to fight his way out of it, you know? To just completely pin it on the one guy and kill Hifumi, and that basically means no one knows it was her. You know? My question is, though, right? is we know that the hero guy went to the what's it? The rec room, right? And suppose we got poisoned, or not really poisoned, but put to sleep. How did he know or not know it was Celeste? That's what I want to figure out. I'm sure it goes into that though, because that seems like a pretty big thing. And I feel like there was something else I was wondering, but I don't remember. Oh yeah. For like, did Hifumi realize that Celeste didn't kill him? And then just like, I don't know, like was he just like to say hero? First of all, it could be just related to Celeste's real name, because none of us know Celeste's real name. That seems like a stretch. But for him to say hero makes it think that he completely trusted her in that sense. You know? But at that point, he was already attacked by Celeste. Right? Presumably. Whoever the killer was. I'm just assuming Celeste in this case. You know? So I feel like it being her real name would make sense. But at the same time, how would he know her real name? But there's no way Hero killed him because he was asleep, and we basically confirmed that, right? I don't know. Let's continue.
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. I have to choose someone now? Is this actually based on who I think it is? Because I want to say Celeste, but I feel like it almost wants me to choose like Kyoko or something. Because they just mentioned that how could she... No. If I mess up, I mess up. I'm choosing Celeste.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
I don't like that. That choice was like... I just was thinking it was Celeste the entire time based on the evidence, but they actually like let me choose based on my evidence, you know? Not like someone was pointing me in a direction, you know? That was weird. I don't know why I like that. I felt so vulnerable there, Jared. Like it was actually just left on me. It's like, whoa. What if I didn't know?
Is that so?
Unless it isn't. They just
Throughout
want
the
us to think this way.
investigation, there was certain behavior
Like they
that
did with
was common
Byakuya.
only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What does that Hifumi and Celeste had in common? Encountering the suspicious individual, the paper, the screaming, encountering.
I got it.
They were the only ones who technically, in theory, saw the
behavior they had
robot.
in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good point, right? If we know that that one guy's innocent, at least presumably, the only people who saw him in the suit was Hifumi and Celeste.
The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Guessing that's what you mean by he's rude, even though, right?
As he said, only
Like, shush, the
Celeste
adults are
and
talking.
Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was walking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I guess the blood was literally in the place. So that even makes it, like, definitely what happened. Not, like, guaranteed, but, you know. Came downstairs, I must have. Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split up into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well, Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor. Everything's going according to plan.
I saw a twinkle in his eye, you know? Yeah, I'm guessing you got to that part. Where it's like she screamed, it's like, oh, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. You know? But it's kind of like the same thing where I saw a twinkle in his eye and then it goes on like to monologue an entire
Why else would
thing.
you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
Certainly not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe
Seems like a little bit of a stretch.
everything. The whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom.
But Celeste made you feel sick to your stomach with something.
Wait, then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
Was the camera to being unconscious,
I
but
didn't even catch it myself when you first
oh, I'm
said
guessing it is.
Looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned
Never mind.
to the nurse's
They're not even gonna
office.
mention that. They must be really enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys did.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand.
How'd she know they were guys? Only she could have pieced it together.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya says that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense, but what is he alluding to? The fact that she couldn't have known? Oh, Monokuma File 3, you know what this means?
I don't know what you're talking about.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Okay, so I'm guessing it's... If it's not those guys in So Strange...
They must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around. They must be... We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like... And that is all...
And that's all it takes to...
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
What? Oh. Oh, what if it's So Strange, those guys?
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Wait, whoa, that's one crazy idea.
It wasn't what she said to what he said. It's what he said to what she said. It's so strange that she said those guys, but it wasn't those guys that were so strange that she said. It all makes sense now, Karen. It all makes sense.
They must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die. We are going to die.
I solved it, Jared. I'm a genius. If at first you get cheated, you'll get cheated even more, and it'll never stop.
That's right.
And you'll only
There's
get
no reason Celeste should have
better,
said,
maybe? I don't
just
know.
like those guys died.
Well, technically, was that strange? Yes. But her saying those guys wasn't strange. It was the fact that it was strange that she said those guys. Don't get it mixed up, you know? Don't get it mixed up, guys.
When she said that,
You guys.
none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
I need something stronger than this.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys?
Guys is fairly gender neutral.
Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took?
The picture you took while you were unconscious? You're right.
How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations. If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the other possibility, Hifumi and the suspect are dancing. Hifumi and the suspect had been drinking. Hifumi is dragging the suspect away. You know, this might have been actually a tough thing to guess if the other two weren't unbelievably not it. Unless, you know. Who's to say they weren't drinking, Jared? Right? Right? Doesn't say they are drinking. They had been.
I got it!
I know, Jared.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to
Whoa.
educate you.
So let's think she can prove that there is no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. Is that really possible? No? Is there just a no option?
Huh?
Okay, let's do this. I'm guessing it has to be due to his message.
Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
If I remember right, Hina said... She said that she couldn't bend at the waist. Okay, so I'm guessing it has something to do with the costume.
Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious...
That's so weird. When lose 2 beers, I got crazy.
Meaningless words tire me. Shut up.
Shoot.
That made perfect
You
sense.
dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could...
Oh, sorry.
No, it's wrong.
That's so unfair. It's so unfair.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
So why is it just one or the other? It's literally like, the costume can't bend at the waist. Oh, it doesn't matter if they were unconscious because that wouldn't matter. And he says that when he says they couldn't stand up straight like that, but no, can't be either of those options. It has to be the stand up straight one, even though they could be unconscious and it would work. This is what I'm saying, guys. This is what I'm saying, right? I'm right. The game is saying, even if the person inside were unconscious, they can stand up straight like that. But no. I just have to be the right kind of right, you know? Just have to be the right kind of right. Remember that, chat. Remember that.
Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Totally can't bend at the waist seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
If they don't mention the fact that she was unconscious. But she wasn't unconscious, I will scream. I won't scream, but...
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate? Celeste? Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Does that really mean that much? Hey Hifumi, who was it who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Who killed me? That's right, I remember their name. Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
But tell me, Celeste, how would he have known Yasuhiro was in the costume?
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Hifumi. Did Hifumi really give us nicknames? I'm assuming people's last name. The other two seem like other people's characteristics.
Our last names. He called us all by our last names.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental.
Yeah, I don't...
By chance.
That's not...
His first name.
Yeah, that's not that crazy of evidence, I feel. You know? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. To be like, oh, but he didn't say his first name when he usually refers to people's last name. You know? Like, that's not that strange. You know? That doesn't seem like that crazy of a... It couldn't have possibly been this scenario because of that reason.
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal.
Thought he was dying.
But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you?
But you also are going by Celeste, so...
Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes
It was something like Ludenberg, if I remember.
and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg.
Yeah.
Could you please stop making me repeat myself
Mm.
over and over again?
All I'm saying, if Monokuma comes on in here, it's like, actually, no. Her real name is Yas whatever, you know? Let's still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. I'll end her life. Oh, never mind. The e-handbook. For some reason, I was actually like joking about the e-handbook because they mentioned it, you know? But it does actually make sense. It is an option.
He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name.
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict
But I do have a way to contradict you, quite literally. You just basically said this is the answer. Especially with those what's it?
That's it.
White noise
The
popping up.
handbook.
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
How would he know her last name though? The handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it'll display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Okay, 20 minutes. First option. In this case, what did the killer recruit their accomplice? Or how did the killer recruit their accomplice? The note. What? Wait. In this case, how did the killer recruit their accomplice? Was it seduction? What? No, that's definitely not it. I don't know. Let's go to the next page. What time did the killer call their victims to the rec room? 1. Who was it that the killers summoned first? Him, the crystal ball guy. Or no. Yeah. It's like, oh, 1. Okay. They knocked him out, then stuffed him in the robot costume to falsify their evidence. And they used a certain item to do it. I think it was just this hammer 1, right? Is that even an option? No. Was it 2? Do you remember which one was in Celestia's, or in the rec room? Because 4 was in Taka's things. This, oh, it's 2.
That was,
it had to be 2. 2's the only one without blood on it. What time was Taka supposed to head to the equipment? That looks like 6.
Oh yeah, I forgot there were hints. Again.
I'm guessing that's 6. Yeah, a little after 6. The justice hammer that was used to kill Taka, what number was it? That was 4. In the library, Hifumi used something to fake the evidence of a shadow criminal. I'm guessing the camera, seeing as it shows. Oh wait, no. Remember, Hifumi used something to fake the evidence of a shadow criminal. This is probably one of the justice hammers. Well, the only option is 3, and he was bleeding, so. Which justice hammer was in the nurse's office when Hifumi was pretending to be dead? Okay, no, that was 3. Then in the library, Hifumi used something to fake the existence of a shadow criminal. Oh, is it just like blood or something? Is it just the picture? I don't know. I just see cameras here, so I'm gonna assume it's the camera. Hifumi used something to move Taka's body. The dolly. Oh, that's what this is. The weapon the killer used to murder Hafmi. What was it? Okay. In this case, how did the killer recruit their accomplice? There's a bloody poster. He said, was it seduction? But I doubt it was actually seduction. Shows Hifumi's backpack, which doesn't seem relevant. Because the killer to recruit them, why would it be a picture of him? Ormond's backpack. The crystal ball doesn't make any sense. But potato chips seem weird. Or are these not potato chips? They look like potato chips. Well, I said, was it seduction? Which makes me think it's the poster. But how would they have gotten their hands on the poster? It just looks like over there, there's other like rolled up posters and a poster on the wall. This one doesn't feel like it fits at all. I don't know, he does look a little like really into it. But this is clearly at the gym. Would we really into potato chips, bro? Well, let's be wrong immediately.
Exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Oh, wait. Didn't it say, like... So it was just them choosing their accomplice?
Hifumi.
You must have read
With
that
the
wrong.
accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room. That someone they met with was Hiro.
You don't remember?
The murderous
Looking like it?
duo
It's weird.
intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. They drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit.
Bro, what? Oh, is that the... Oh, that's the camera. Didn't it say? Okay. So maybe this one's the Justice Hammer, too? Yes, because... Okay, that one doesn't have blood on it. Okay, so this makes sense now. Yeah, because that would have been the second one. I thought that was the second one. Okay, now we should be good, though.
Killer is you! They drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan.
The murder phase.
They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room.
If you have the time to do the crime, that's interesting. It's my philosophy after all.
The reason hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that.
Okay, so far so good.
While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for.
How's Slit? Pretty good. He's also playing the same game.
He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally
We've been
murdered.
playing a ton of Overwatch 2 and Disney Dreamlight Valley. It's been a blast.
He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found.
Has he been eating a lot of burgers lately? We did have burgers like, was it last night? Or was it the night before? No, it was the night before. Living in purgatory as always, you know how it be.
Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation.
I'm sure Bell's been eating a lot of sandwiches because he's just been winning so much. You know, I would imagine. You know.
He simply got up and made his escape.
Yeah.
When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office.
Lots of Subway? Hey, Subway's pretty delicious. What's your go-to sandwich, Bell?
And once again, Hifumi had the chance.
How long have I been muted for?
This time,
Ever.
he snuck into the equipment room.
I second the notion. Subway's great.
Gotcha. You need to get the mic I have, Jared. You can tell when you're muted because it glows.
He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp.
I kind of
and
have
used
that.
the
I have the
dolly to move
adapter.
it all the way down to
Yes,
the
for
It
repository.
kind of glows. I
Turkey
just,
with
you know.
bacon? Bro, Bell. I get turkey and then bacon and then the cheese is kind of debatable. I've been getting pepper jack lately. And then mayo and mustard. And I think that's it. But if I go to Subway now that I've raised my palate a little bit, I definitely get some other things like probably a little bit of lettuce, some light tomato, probably just because, you know, nutrition and all that. Definitely if they have like banana peppers, because banana peppers are good. Pickles, also very solid. Yeah. And last time I went, I got a chicken bacon ranch. But yeah, turkey, bacon, that's the way I roll. That's like my main sub. It's just delicious. It really is.
That explains how each of the bodies disappeared.
I like the chipotle and buffalo sauce. Ooh, that does sound pretty good. I feel like though, with me at least with buffalo sauce, it's delicious, right? But buffalo with ranch, you need the mix. You need the mix. Absolutely. I don't know if I've had chipotle sauce. Sounds good though.
But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them.
You gotta try it. It's so good. Next time I go to Subway, I'll try it. I'll probably get a turkey bacon sandwich and I'll try the chipotle sauce. For sure, for sure. Sounds delectable.
And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Emmett says he's gonna love it since he's a sandwich man. Jared hates a lot of lunch meat stuff. He would usually just get like a cheese sandwich, and then he upped it to cheese and pepperoni. But then lately he's like some other meats like ham, stuff like that. But he's still not a big fan of turkey.
Eventually, maybe.
I lost?
He likes Italian subs.
I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
Dang, so doesn't like turkey. Lame. Joking. Yeah, I don't know. Turkey's like probably the best lunch meat, at least alone. I also do like myself some roast beef.
True.
Roast beef's pretty delectable. Bologna and like, yeah, mostly bologna's and yeah. Can be good. It's just not on a sandwich. Who likes bologna on a sandwich? Like, if you just eat any lunch meat, I feel like bologna makes sense. Because obviously, like, ham is good and turkey's good, but like not like the thinly sliced like lunch meat versions of them, you know. But like, yeah. But just alone, probably salami. But I don't know how Drew doesn't like turkey. Turkey's like the best.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
A rank again. Got some nice coinage though.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin.
Well, we all have our taste, so I don't blame him. Yeah.
Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened?
I think we already know who the blackened is.
Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Get ready for the spell.
What's it gonna be?
You're gonna see someone be punished, aka executed, and it's gonna be very brutal. You still play Warframe? Not like as much. I'm more so waiting for a bunch of updates and I have like a good bit to stream and like get back into Warframe for like a couple of months or so, but I'll actually have like content to do. But I stopped because we kind of got to like the very end game when we played, so. But I do want to go back to it, but that's the beauty of an MMO. So like right now lately there's just Game Pass games we've been playing a lot, and yeah. And Overwatch, tons of Overwatch. It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost, well that sucks. I'm also curious on why they never mentioned that she was unconscious and still took the picture. As well as how, if the, Hifumi wasn't involved, how he knew that the one guy, Yasuhiro, would have been in the costume. They didn't mention that part. Or the fact that he somehow knew her real last name. Gotta go, mate. Good seeing ya, and good night. Good night, mate. I finally finished my support placements. What'd you play as King of Frogs? Probably really high. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Bronze 5? That's not surprising. Let me guess, you were playing Mercy. No, I'm kidding. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations. I think I'm like bronze 2 or no, silver or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The whole point is the placements that you climb out of it. So placing low is honestly more fun that way because then you get to work your way up. Downside your own support, so you're never going to climb out, but you know. So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure he relied on her specialty lying. Or she's my specialty, don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So
then did you use, you know. I knew you'd figured it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice, I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but If it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean talking about alter ego? Obviously. What? What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt, we're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I kept getting tanks that hid behind walls and frontline DPS, not even Genjis, with deflect either. Yeah, to be fair, like I forget who said it, but I was watching like a TikTok video or something about it from like an actual like old pro player. I think it was Seagull. I don't know. I think that basically the biggest difference is tanks, right? Like if one tank is much better than the other, it's kind of just GG's, you know? But if both tanks are good, then it basically strictly falls on how good your DPS are. And the healers are just there to see how long team fights last. And like trying your best to keep people alive. But obviously if you're like the tanks or DPS, killing DPS is useful, but you're trying to mostly kill supports to kill DPS or doing enough damage to kill DPS. And again, killing supports. So it's kind of like that. So if you have a really bad tank, you can't really win as long as if the enemy team has a good tank. As well as if your DPS are just worse, there's no way you're beating the DPS if they're just getting better picks and have better like positioning and all that stuff. But that's why it's hard to carry on support unless you're like absolutely insane. Like obviously some supports I feel like it's almost impossible to carry, like completely alone more so. Because like say as Mercy you can definitely carry if you're just like pocketing the right people, you know, and stuff like that. But like I feel like to really solo on a healer or more so a support, it kind of is things like I would imagine like Kiriko and Lucio, maybe Ana from time to time, just because they're like you can actually use them offensively and defensively, you know, to where you can actually get kills and provide so much utility to where you can actually help your team. But a lot of the other ones are kind of like bland. I guess Zen's useful, but he's also super easy to pick off, so unless you're like absolutely insane on Zen, I don't think you're doing much. But that's the beauty of like Ana, Lucio, and Kiriko, is you don't have to really be good on them for them to be good, you know. But as long as you're not literally heal botting on them, you should be able to carry as long as you're not terrible. So, like, you should at least be able to climb the ranks. Like, if you're saying you play at like a diamond to grandmaster level, and you're playing like Kiriko and Lucio and stuff like that, but you're stuck in bronze 5, and you're only blaming your team, I don't really see that, how that can just be you getting unlucky. Unless you're literally like terribly, terribly unlucky. Only 2 rounds. Was it actually a healer issue? Most of these I was putting in all the work. The rest I only put in most of the work. I feel that. Totally out the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words,
Then you're the one that stole it?
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
And you use it to drag Kifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. And guess what? I'm guessing you still lost. I'd imagine. Seeing as if you got bronze 5. Last night after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you, alone. It's about what was stolen. I know who did it.
what? Are you okay with this?
It was Taka. He stole it. What?
So
And I have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I found the use for a digital camera. I'd taken, you know what, to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him. But how did he do it? He was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
As for me,
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
He did?
as for me,
He came to my room last night unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say he abused me.
What?
Yet he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. He's literally the moral compass. What do you mean? Like the last guy I'd expect to do anything like that. It lets golds queue in a group with unranked in comp so we can queue together. Yeah, it's great. That's the main issue people have with ranked right now, is that the matchmaking is garbage, and it's like really like not putting people in the same rank, as well as like just like to rank up and rank down is a really stupid system. So just like comp in itself is like, sure, it can be fun, but it's like with things being kind of unbalanced how they are, it kind of is annoying. But yeah. So I had no choice. That's a crime, an absolute crime. I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it, I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him.
Most unfortunate.
Wait, please, if you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands. Huh?
Actually,
Taka is planning to use her to escape, and he has made you his target.
What?
Escape, you don't mean. Taka's going to try to kill you. What?
indeed.
And all you can do, or all he can keep, or and also he can keep her to himself.
This is
Why is,
unforgivable.
I don't understand why she's like, okay, you know how we have a chance of escaping, you know, alter ego, all that. Let's just kill some people, you know, let's just, you know, and I'm going to use alter ego as a thing. So if things don't work out, at least we're losing alter ego too in the meantime. Great. If Freedom was diamond or lower, he could join too. I don't know where Freedom was, but Freedom's not the best Overwatch player, you know. Tracer and Doomfist, they're good characters. You know, he's not like a terrible player. I just don't think he has it in him, you know. He's more of a like Brawlhalla player, you know, and I don't think I have to say more than that.
Honestly.
Can we allow him continue with these barbar gags? Absolutely not. How could I? I have to save her.
Actually.
Then would you like to join me? Or it just so happens I've come up with a plan. Huh? I have devised a way to reclaim what he had stolen and escape this dreadful school. His Nyx wasn't much to behold. Yes, but more like, he's kind of more of one of those players where he'd rather just like put time and like learning like specific like, say like combos and techniques and strategies like that. When Overwatch is more like spontaneous than that, you know? It's not as simple as just like the same kind of movement, the same kind of like reads, you know? It's not like that. Especially because there's like a lot more diversity with like maps and stuff like Overwatch compared to like Brawlhalla. And obviously with like people you fight and stuff like that. As well as like you'd have to like counter pick and stuff like that. So Brawlhalla is just a much simpler game. You know, but see, personally, the reason I don't like Brawlhalla is because of that reason. Like, it basically is just cycles, you know? It's basically, I don't know, it's just kind of boring to me. I still like it when we're all playing together because it can be fun, you know? But, yeah. The matter that, like, fighting games in general are a lot about just that, it's kind of, like, boring. That's why I don't like shooter games a lot of the time, like, say, Valorant, because it's literally just, like, standing still and shooting, and it's, like, again, it just feels less about, like, skill and more about just, like, knowing stuff. And it's, like, what's fun just about knowing stuff, you know? But I'm literally 1850 now because I don't play the game. I'm just like a gold player, you know. At least when I played rank. Anyway, lots of he-he-he's, and with that, it is complete. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. You were 1,700. Gotcha. For like the total of 100 ranked games I played. Ifu agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place. So why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it?
Let's see.
In that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Savage. You should get Rise and Sunbreak on stream. Better game. On Steam, not stream. Better game. Maybe. We'll see. But I feel like if I'm gonna have it on Game Pass, I'm probably just gonna play it on Game Pass. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I also am tempted to just play the other Danganronpa games after this one, but I also need to finish Persona, plus there's other games leaving Game Pass. We'll see how things go, because there's already games queued up that I want to play, like, say, Monster Hunter Rise when it comes out, and obviously Persona 5 and Deathloop and stuff like that, so lots of stuff. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry. But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, how was Hifumi supposed to do, or what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming he had actually let him live?
Are you okay?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded, he was on the verge of death, and he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course. That wasn't all there was to it. As I explained it to Hifumi, the plan was, well, you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. There's also World. It's a finished game that's never being updated again, and it's still great, still better than Rise, still getting good content mods. Yeah, no, like I said though, I don't really want to purchase games until like I'm sick of the games that I already have, you know? Because like it seems like kind of a waste to buy something when like I can play the games I want to play, you know? But I'm sure at some point we're gonna wind up catching up on like Game Pass, stuff like that, and I'll wind up having to buy games. But because it's not like Game Pass has only good games, you know what I'm saying? There's some bad ones. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly right up till the moment of his death.
So in the end,
So he had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How can human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean.
Now you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder about that.
No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money?
Hmm.
Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new lives began here, my only thought has been escape. But all along you've been saying that you have to accept living here. Obviously that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here. I wanted to get out every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why, huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
And it was all for that dream. And what was this dream of yours?
isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. A castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers/bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing.
unfortunately my dreams have been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end, so why would I?
Just the
You
worst.
sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own needs. I feel nothing.
you understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even fool my own emotions. My conscious deceives the unconscious, or the conscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes.
That's right, I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice then,
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey.
You just get executed again. Celestia smiled again. And what you did, it looked to me like a poor effort, poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings. That statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills,
You all done?
chills,
Okay.
thrills.
Then let's get rolling. The black can disturb the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
She's been a bad girl. Anyway, never say that again. I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What? Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why
Actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again in another life.
Get ready to see something you never wanted to see, King of Frogs. An execution. The burning of the Versailles Witch. Doesn't seem too brutal. Just a little bit of fire, you know, probably a terrible way to go, you know, to be honest, but. Ambulance. One more of a fire truck, but. It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killing my friends, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. And for him to just come along and... Isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets in the outside world, and so more people had to die. You guys are still young, you need to place more value in your lives.
What are you gonna do?
Geez, in here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation. What do I care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not, and it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but the reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us? God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, Kyoko, did I see you get some kind of key type object from Celeste?
Hey.
So what's the deal with that?
What?
Huh? What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
What?
Hey,
Answer me, what did you do to my body?
Ooh. How exciting.
Ooh, oh man, oh geez, oh man, oh geez. What do you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyoko's body? What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here.
Well.
Meanwhile, you guys can go enjoy your school life. If you get lonely, give a shout or give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later.
Monokuma disappeared, leaving all of us depressed and in despair. Although, it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey, Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but... What's that key that Celeste gave you?
so...
Most likely, it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
What? Then that means... Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we'd better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. Left the courtroom and rushed into the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey,
I'm going to go on alone from here. Anyone else head to the dining room, or everyone else head to the dining room, I'll check in with you later. Why exactly are you going alone?
so...
Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? There's still the risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please, let me go. Sitting here arguing is just gonna draw more attention to us.
Bye.
What do you want? Or do whatever you want. Why not send him and them, you know? Thank you, Baki. Then it's up to you now.
Yo.
I'm gonna go to the dining hall, okay? Huh, so Makoto and Kyoko are going to go together? Does that mean what I think it means? Good luck, Makoto. Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. I tried to forget what he just said. Everyone head to the dining room. Leave me and Kyoko there alone.
Shall we go?
Yeah.
So then.
We need to get into that locker. Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her to unlock the locker, and as the locker swung open, we saw.
You really came.
It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe, thank goodness. I never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I just did what Celeste asked and didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time. Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon, maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please wait just a while longer. So now we can officially say the case is closed. As far as this incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second? Since we have this opportunity, I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me, what are you trying to do all on your own here at the school? Is that why you wanted to come here with me?
However.
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know. That just makes you even more worried.
What?
Worried. Like what happened during the investigation this time? You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that, it's only natural that you think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No. I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me. Isn't it obvious people believe in their friends, right? That's why I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then.
That's fine.
Fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see. What I heard from Kyoko well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she's told me with my own 2 eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come. And when I did, I went into action.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it, and in the storage closet there, way in the back. You said it's in the way back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? Going in. I think I even noticed this storage closet thing. Where's the, okay, just had to get a weird angle. It's a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. Secret Kyoko told me about. Could it really be hidden here? She said it was in the way back of the storage closet. But I mean, seriously? Without thinking, I placed my hand on the back of the storage closet, and suddenly, as if I were being yanked in. Gashunk. At the same time as I heard the sound, I fell through the wall. I had no idea what was going on. Ba-bump. I had fallen through the back of the storage closet. Huh? It turned out. The back wall was like a revolving door, and it'd make my way to the other side, just like Kyoko had said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor, there's a storage closet, and way in the back of the closet, there's a secret room. This is a secret room. But what's in here? There's a bunch of files and what looks like volume after volume of yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Look at everything. One file at the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Postway Academy Student Registry. This is the only thing in here not covered in dust. Has someone been looking at it recently? I slipped the file into my hand, but before I had a chance to take a look at it, a slip of paper fell out of the file and I turned my attention to it. What's this? You must not leave. That's kind of weird. I can understand if it said like, I can't leave, but you must not leave. What is this? My head feels funny. It's a strange sensation. It feels like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I do? What don't I do? Hi. The frick. A strange sound rang out through my head. I feel like it is shaking my brain back and forth. And then, darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it had been. Still alive? Oh. Ow. Apparently, someone hit me and I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. Or understand. The dull throbbing pain in the back of my head proved that much at least. Okay. So it's probably an outside source, seeing as I found this room, and then I got completely dunked on, and then all the files are gone. So it doesn't seem like it must have been another student, because why would they do that? Especially not just to kill me and then hide my body here. Right?
That'd be genius.
Except they'd have to find the body. But is it really... To be fair, there should also be a thing if you kill someone and nobody notices. Nobody can find the body within like a certain amount of days or something. You should be fine. You know? It counts as getting away with murder. Just a normal desk with normal drawers. An empty bookshelf. Huh? Empty. Gone. It's all gone. The yearbooks, the student registry, and even the note that had fallen back on the floor. It's all gone. What does this mean? My brain refused to do any more work. The insistent pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. For now, I have to go back to my room. Get some rest. My body was heavy with pain, my mind heavy with thought. I dragged myself back towards my room. Somehow I made it back to the first floor of the school. Blah. The farther I walked, the more I felt things are getting blurry, can't see in front of me. I couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there. And after that... As if from the vast distance I heard a sound. It was faint, but undeniable. That sound. It's coming from the gym. Someone getting butchered. As I desperately hauled my shaky frame towards the gym, the sound got stronger and stronger. Crack, gagunk, bagya. What's going on? It can't be nothing. Here in the gym? I didn't make a sound as I opened the door to the gym. The sound coming from inside, meanwhile, only intensified that much more. Kachu Bakyu. Hagaga Haya Paching. Bakya Dudadun Shashashasha. For me, there raged the battle beyond anything humanly possible. No, one side's not human, that's for sure. But regardless, I couldn't stop staring. I forgot to move or even breathe.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
The deal?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat. No longer compromise. No longer regret. I've made my decision.
Oh, babe.
I'm going to resist you.
Okay, but you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? And could it be? The mastermind spy is... Next generation legend, stand tall, galactic hero. The end. How many people are left? 7. That seems like a surprisingly high amount still. You got the Super Robo Justice present. Nice. Okay. Leon killed Sayaka. Monokuma killed Junko. Then Leon got executed. Then Mondo killed Chihiro. And then he got executed. Hifumi killed Taka, then Celestia killed Hifumi. Then she got executed. And that brings us up to now. The next morning in dining hall, the day after Celeste's case. So now there's only 5 of us here. Only a third of the number of people we started with.
Indeed.
Loneliness has become commonplace. That's true. Still. What did I see yesterday? I don't understand. Sakura's the mastermind spy? Can that really be true? Makoto, are you okay? No, I'm fine. I can't bring it up in front of the others. If I did that, I would just confuse everyone that much more.
Okay.
In that case, let's eat till we pass out. What do you mean, in that case?
I mean,
Well, because look how scary everyone looks. It's got to be because you're all fighting on empty stomachs, right? If you fill your belly, I'm sure you'll all cheer up, so let's eat.
okay.
Let's fry up some fish and donuts, and we'll eat till we can't stand up. That's like a deep impact style, meteor impact, extinction level, event, combination of foods. What? Those are both breakfast time top sellers. No, maybe donuts, yeah, but fried fish? Still, the till we can't stand up part is a problem. After we're done, we need to go explore.
I see.
That's right, since the class trial is over, new area should have opened up. Oh yeah, the 4th floor. Let's do alter ego. We don't have to give in to despair just yet. She's right, we have to plan ahead and think about the future. I wonder how many stories this place is. Yeah, think happy thoughts, not deathly thoughts. Or deathy thoughts, I don't know. Like when we're going, or like we're gonna get out of here, right?
Serious.
When this is over, I think I want to get reborn for serious, or I mean reborn as someone serious.
Well...
Hey, are you okay? That sounds like something someone who's about to die would say. I'm totally okay. I'm not gonna die. Why? Because there aren't gonna be any more murders. Huh? What makes you so sure?
According to the spirits...
I predicted last night since it's revealed itself to me from the ether, so there's no doubt about it.
However...
How accurate is your fortune telling anyway?
How about that?
I can usually hit 20 or 30% on a good day. That seems really low.
It's not like some occult...
Well, yeah, it's not like it's ESP or whatever. Of course, it's only gonna get it right sometimes.
The occult is bullcrap.
I told you my fortune telling isn't like some occult thing. Fortune telling isn't a cult?
You got it all wrong.
Of course not. Clairvoyance is clairvoyance. Don't put it in the same category as cattle mutilation. Cattle what?
So...
He's referring to the urban legend where aliens abduct cows and dissect them as a part of their research.
Actually...
No, you're calling it an urban legend. As a matter of fact, it's true. As a matter of fact, it's happened to me. It's all happened one day when I went to go get a hamburger. It was a place I'd never been before. They claimed their patties were 100% all beef. So I got a burger and to go and headed home. And before long, the sky was filling with a mysterious blinding light.
Some crazy beam came out of nowhere and locked onto my hamburger. And as soon as the beam touched it, the burger started floating in midair. And then, still floating there, the entire burger started coming apart. One part of it just vanished, while the rest fell back into my hand. Do you realize what that means? It means the burger wasn't 100% beef. It must have had some pork or something mixed in. Something like 70% pork and 30% beef would be my guess.
What is he on about?
Can't trick me.
Okay. This guy makes absolutely no... Okay. So stormed back to the burger place and got up in the manager's grill and they totally admitted it. It wasn't 100% beef. They totally mixed in ground pork with it.
How about that?
Now, do you see it? That is cattle mutilation. I kind of got lost halfway through. I didn't even get that far before I got lost. I can't tell if you're for the occult or against it. You stink of stupidity.
Don't be mean.
I stink of how dare you. Well, you do stink though. That's fine. That's fine. Anyway, I hope your prediction turns out to be true. Well, at the very least, I won't murder anyone.
Yeah.
Me neither. I mean, I would never.
Of course.
Me either.
Indeed.
Nor I. Same goes for me too. Of course, I could never kill any of my friends. I felt like those words of encouragement were helping us come together as one. After so much sacrifice and hardship, we'd finally become united. But
well,
to be honest, I wish Byakuya and Toko were here for this too. But they're so hard to deal with. They only think about themselves. Yeah, we're better off without them, I say. That was easy enough to prove. We were united for the time being, but within that bond hid weakness and fragility. Chapter 4. All-Star Apologies. Is that Swimmer Girl and She-Hero? Well, I don't like that Swimmer Girl's there. Because I don't want her to be involved in any death. She-Hero, they're already dead. You know, I mean, begin our search as soon as we'd finished our breakfast in the dining hall. We need to find out what had opened up. What was waiting for us. That's not what I meant to click. Why is my... Excuse me? What's happening with my mouse right now? Is my controller being weird? Yes. My controller's trying to take over. Okay.
Looking.
I think, though, we saved there. Because we've been almost playing for 4 hours. So, you know. Anyway, chat. we beat chapter 3. Flying colors. We're crazy. Everything just made so much sense. I'm having a blast personally. I really am. I'm excited for the next chapter. I feel like it's gonna be weird just having less and less people though. You know? It's like just less people to like talk to. It's weird, you know? And very surprising. But yeah. I guess as always, chat, make sure to like, follow, and obey, and we'll catch you on the flippity flop. Ribbit. And if you're on YouTube, links in the description for links to Twitch, the TikTok, and the Twitter. Always fun to watch live. And if you're on Twitch, exclamation point, any of the socials on screen, and you'll get a link directly to it. But before I see you guys, right, I do want to ask, right, I'm curious, do you think it would be better with some of these games, specifically Danganronpa, but really any of like these kind of like more story games? Do you think it'd be better if I did them off stream and just recorded them as like a YouTube video, right? Because I feel like I do kind of read chat a good bit, and then I wind up talking, and I feel like that might get, you know, interrupt the gameplay a bit, especially in something like this. But I don't know. Just curious. Yeah. I will see you guys later. Peace.